just merely distribution of clothes. You use clothes. People that they want to do so, you do it for them. You want to do small football matches up to the level of giving them, let's say, the winners 100,000, 200,000. You create a league for them to play, and you call them obedient league. People will come out in Kasina, they will play the league. Me, what I've been doing throughout the 4 states, the 6 states we have done now, we have done 6 states. We have done Nasarawa, Niger.
I hate to do this, Brian, but please, Mr. Val is going to be with us any moment from now, and
It's
honestly,
okay.
yeah. So I just want to rush probably 2, 3 speakers before he comes, but we were going to have a reaction probably an hour after the space with Mr. Val. We'll still be here just to talk about this. I promise to extend the time tonight. I know I'm not meant to extend the time, but I have to. He's already here, so I want people that have been up here to just talk a little bit, or probably 2 minutes each. Then we'll bring in Mr. Val to the conversation. But thank you very much, Mr. Ibrahim. I beg. When we're in Nigeria, I don't know who's going to go next, but Mr. Val is here with us. The reason why we are here is here. The reason the person that owns the remaining hour, at least for the next 1 or 2 hours, will be up here with us. I'm not bringing up accurate timekeepers. You see something. We see people that we follow in this movement are people that at least keep to time. Gentlemen that understand common gestures. Mr. Val, I don't know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, I don't know. Is he up?
No, from my end, it's still connecting.
Okay, I think he's near Asorok. So his network will be shaking. So, but while please move out from near that area. If you're near him, please tell him to move to somewhere else. Maybe he can go towards Ibrahim. I don't know where our principal is right now. So, but wherever he is, I think you can tell him to shift his phone towards that area. But guys, please, okay, he's back. Is he connected yet?
On my end, the station connecting.
Let's keep the conversation going before he comes up. I think I will tell my vows. Let me just tell a short story about this man, this gentleman, before he comes up here. I think this pre 2018, a friend of mine reached out to me, and I was in Owerri. I was working in Owerri then, and a friend of mine, an old school friend, reached out to me, and he was like, he's the campaign something for one man, like that the man wants to become governor of Anambra State. And I said, who? And he called the man's name, Mr. Valentine. I said, I don't know this name. I've never heard this man before. I don't know who he is. He said, man, he's coming for PDP, and that they are doing consultation to win, and he wants to be the PDP candidate. I say PDP candidate, and I don't even know the name. I say he can never win. That's what I first of all say, because I know how PDP as a party is. And they come and be in Anambra State, where there are so many people coming out and vying for that ticket in that state. So I was like, no, it's not possible. So we met in Owerri. This is my friend. We hanged out. He was telling me that this man is going. He has gone through all the wards. He has gone through he also started very early. I'm saying it's early, I think 2018 or so, before the elections, like a year to the elections, and a year to the party primaries. Same thing, similar thing that Apata did. I don't know if two of them went to the same school, because it's exactly what Apata did in Edo State. Went down there, did the whole grassroots work, got everything he had to get. I think did his whole mobilization. But for we that were out there, we did not know the man. And I never ever, in fact, I told my friend that it is not possible. He came to where I know, Mr. Val, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I sent him an invite. Okay, I think he's here now.
Hello.
Oh, good evening, sir. Are you near Aso Rock, sir? Good evening, sir. One minute, please confirm if he can hear you.
Mr. Val, can you hear me? Hello, Mr. Val.
He didn't answer.
Let's use my phone. Yeah, you got the
about working the input.
Mr. Val, okay? All right, let me just wrap
You
up
know
my
here
story.
in Galilee voice. You know here in Galilee voice. In Galilee, they tell us
All right, but let me just wrap up my story real quick. And I was like, this man cannot win. That's what I told him. He cannot win the primaries. That's what I just told my friend. No point. So they came to him. Much later, I think 1 or 2 months later, they came back to where he came to be one of my chairmen that we were together then. And he had that meeting. I was like, this man is making moves though. But I did not believe he was going to win the primaries. Bottom line short. But when he won the primaries, that my friend called me and said, "Shey, I told you." Mr. Val, can you hear me, please?
I can hear you better now. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine, sir. Are you near Aso Rock?
No. I'm far away from it now.
Okay, please go further. Go further.
Saddam, you know, say only violence I did recognize that question. That's
yes, sir. All right, welcome, sir. Good evening. So I've been here waiting for you. We have a whole lot of people in the building. I think we have over 1,000 people right now listening, and over 500 anonymously listening, and so much more on our radio station, our Violence Space YouTube channel, and also on Facebook. But welcome to the show. It's been a while. We've not had you here on the platform. You politicians, after politicians, people will run. And you now run away from us here. This used to be your house, so but you ran away. But in the spirit of forgiveness.
Before you forgive, I didn't run. I've been cooking some stuff for you, for your interest.
All right, it's good to have you back, sir. We have amazing obedience here. We've been discussing before you came up. So I think we're just going to start up the space right now. I think, guys, without further ado, if you're not joining us, it's the Violence Space, and with us on the platform today, we have His Excellency Mr. Valentine Ozigbo himself. I will give him I think, for those that are not Violencers, that probably you're new here, probably you came here because you saw his DP, or you've heard about him, you want to hear the gentleman speak. I think I'm going to give him the next 5 minutes to introduce himself. Tell everybody here again, reintroduce himself to us Violencers and introduce himself to newcomers. Mr. Valentine, you have the space in 5 minutes, sir. Welcome, sir.
I don't know the last time Peter B came here. Did you ask him to introduce himself?
Yes, so he introduced himself.
Just tell everybody what Peter B is for Nigeria. That's what I am for Anambra State. That's all I need to say. Hello.
We can hear you, sir. Go on.
Okay. All right. Let me first thank you, the Emir himself, and all the co-hosts and speakers. I've seen some of you. You are my people. I belong here. So, but for anybody who may be listening to me for the first time, my name is Valentine Ozigbo. I am from Amesi in Aguata local government of Anambra State, and born in Omomaku, which is in Orumba, and then started my primary school in community school Akpo, which also is in Orumba. Before I came home to Amesi to complete my primary school and then secondary school in Amesi as well. We had to move like that because my father retired as a headmaster, as a catechist. So we grew up learning a few things from the masters of discipline. And those learnings have taken me to where I am today. and that I'm very, very grateful to God for. And I grew up just wanted to do my father proud. Learned about hard work, pursuit of excellence, and eventually what it means to be driven by a culture of continuous improvement, always looking to outdo myself and finding every environment that is competitive exciting. So this is why I always sought to be the best. Secondary school, I was able to achieve that at the University of Nigeria, Enugu campus, where I studied accounting. I also was able to achieve that by the grace of God. I was the best student in the department and also in the faculty. Was there again for my MBA in banking and finance. And then eventually gained the Chevening Scholarship and was in Lancaster University for my second master's. And I had distinction in MSc Finance. And also enrolled in what I call Global CEO Program, which is being done by 3 universities. Lagos Business School in Lagos, SBS in Nairobi and South Africa, and ESA in New York and Barcelona. Now, after I also graduated from that, I was elected the president of the class that I'm still to today. I qualified as a chartered accountant many years ago, became a fellow of the Institute, a fellow of Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, Institute of Tourism Professionals, and Institute of Credit Administration. I'm a member of Institute of Directors. I served in banking for a total of 17 years, from Now Merchant Bank to Diamond Bank to Continental Trust Bank's FSB to UBA to Bank PHB. I was always being sought after in banking. Within 6 months in Diamond Bank, I was the best staff in Nigeria. And in my 5th year, I had joined Continental Trust Bank as a pioneer branch manager in Warri, and then eventually moved to FSB and became a regional manager. And joined Standard Trust, merged with UBA, and left there as an assistant general manager, and eventually rose to the level of general manager. I was also headhunted to serve as the CEO of Transcorp Hotels, PLC, which I did for 7 years, and transformed the hotel, won a lot of laurels, became perhaps the most decorated hospitality industry practitioner in the continent, having won CEO of the Year in the world twice, in Greece and in Spain. Eventually was elevated to become the group CEO and president of Transcorp Group, which covered the hotel business, power, oil and gas. But, all these things really are not as important to me as living a life of impact. So I registered my foundation, became a great promoter of...
Sorry, sir. You said CEO of the world, right?
Yeah, 7-star CEO of the year.
Jesus.
This was in 2017 and in 2018 in Spain and in Greece. And eventually, I started my foundation many years back, where I go back to my village to give back to the society. I did a lot of things, from vision setting to coaching to talent hunt to business plan competition, stuff to particularly promote youths and women. And they nicknamed me King of the Youth. I used to organize one of the biggest carnivals around there, where up to 10,000 people would gather. And I was just doing this because I wanted to touch lives. And but I wanted more. I started questioning why we as Black people in this world are always being looked down upon. And in my mind, in my own estimation, if anything can be done in this regard, the best place to do that is in Nigeria. And I felt the Southeast, and the Igbos in particular, have got the DNA to actually set an example. And where best to set that example than in Anambra State? So when I spoke to a few of my friends that I was going to quit corporate world to go into politics, they thought I was stupid. A lot of them sat me down, actually told me how stupid I was with the thinking. Somebody was like, this is somebody who has the best job in Nigeria, shakes hands with over 30 presidents every year, lived in a presidential suite for 7 years, could just touch a button and any drink he wants is ordered. And you want to abandon all this life. And do you know where your life will take you another 5 years? And after all the blah, 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 I said to them, okay, and so what? So if I make all this money and buy my private jet and build the houses and mansions, so what happened? Then I go back home and you hear that my people have been kidnapped and I'm on bad road and all of this. The same story about how, poor in mind we are will continue. If I even decide that I'm done with this Nigeria, let me leave and go to your country. This time I was actually addressing the president of Hilton, who was having coffee with me in Dubai. And if I come to your country, you'll still treat me as guilty until proven innocent. You'll be suspecting who I am because of the color of my skin. That if this is the life and this is how it's going to end, and I die eventually, I would have died in vain. So I have to be able to go to God and say to him, I tried my best. So I'm in politics to be able to answer that question. What have you done? What did you try to do to change the narrative? And I found a mentor in P2B. I was never, like most other people. I was not his staff. I didn't work as a commissioner. No, we're just
Sorry, I've lost you. Almost see resume. My God.
You must come and complete this thing.
Hello, can you see me?
Yeah, go on,
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sir, your resume attacked the network.
No. So
please, if we could just wrap it up in like 2 minutes, so we go into the
yeah. No, I'm actually
conversation.
done. The last thing I just wanted to add here is I found a worthy companion and mentor in P2B in the fact that he is a non-transactional politician who is purpose-driven. And that's why we started getting along, and I became like the John the Baptist in 2021, and that was when I was saying to Anambra people, just imagine what Nigeria will become if you have this type of man as your president, and you now have me in Anambra as your governor. That was one thing that got their heads swelling, and but it happened the way it happened, and it didn't take me a minute to decide to join him and to push as much as I could. And that's why you could see us literally everywhere. And I did all I could, sacrifice my time, my resources for that project. And I'm thankful to all of you who shared in that vision. And so Anambra 2025 is a continuation of that project. It's about getting Anambra right and setting the tone for 2027. And so this will be my initial remarks. I'm happy to attend to any questions you may have. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I think for everybody on the platform, I think I would say your resume has blown our minds away. But meanwhile, we have a fact checker on the platform. You already know the violence piece now. As we are saying it, our fact checker, aka Jimmy the Hawk, is doing some background checks on what to say because we cannot.
I don't confirm. Now legit, confirm ni legit. Hey!
All right.
I'll put it on the
Please do that, please. Because on this platform, what we will not allow is a bulaba times 2. Chicago certificate, we're trying to make sure it is original. So please, it has been verified, and we can go on to the next phase of this conversation. But sir, honestly, I'm inspired by what you've achieved in life. A very, very silent one for that matter, but your resume speaks for yourself. I'm going to open up the floor right now, guys. Please, if you have questions for Mr. Val and you cannot get the mic so quick, please use the hashtag #AskValOzigbo and post your question in the comment section. Will be asking. I don't know, NC's well-meaning, and if you guys have any questions, you guys can please come in right now before I open up the floor.
Look, for me, I don't. Mr. Val is me. I'm just here thinking about when you guys will get rid of Oludo, and that's less for you people.
You call out Oludo. NC, are you there, please? All right, NC is probably struggling with his network. Okay, Jimmy, if you have a question for him also, I think you can come in right now, or if you've verified all his claims, Jimmy.
I'll be back in a minute.
Thank you. Okay, guys, let's open up the floor right now to ask Val questions. Please, let's try to keep our question as short as possible so that we can entertain as many questions as possible, please. I'm going to start with my brother, Mr. Steve. Your hands are up, so I'm going to allow you. I don't know if we were having a space before before Mr. Val came up, so many of the people that are up here are people that we're having a conversation with. So I want to go back right now. We're up to question and answer. Please, if you don't have questions for him, you can go down, and after the space, we'll bring you back up. But if you're up here and your hands are up, that means you have a question for him. So I'm going to start with you, Mr. Steve. Mr. Steve, you have the mic in a minute. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, Saddam. Mr. Val, big pleasure to be here with you. Of course, you are one of us. We missed you around, so please stick with us. I did see your tweet endorsing Olumide Akpata, our guy. For me, we have another guy in Anambra, and that's Valentine Ozigbo. You are our guy. And I've said the road to a new Nigeria that we want in 2027 by the grace of God passes through Edo and has a flyover close to Onitsha Bridge that lands in Oka, and from there to Abuja. So my goal is to make sure we obedience are with you. What I want to ask from you is, where do we come in? Do you want us to wait? What role would you like us to play? For me, you are our candidate. There's no discussion, end of discussion. So what would you want us as obedience to do? How do we support your work and make sure the Anambra knows that you are our next governor in Anambra State? And also, Edo State, we will need you on ground because our guy is also there. That one is September. Thank you, sir.
Zach, are you there?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now, but you've been silent.
Yeah, I was asking if I should respond or take more questions.
All right, I think if you're taking notes, then we can do two speakers.
Yeah, I'm taking note. Yeah.
Okay, let's go on to the second person. Okay, the spirit of gender equality. Let's take Mommy Bolanle. Mommy Bolanle, good evening. You have the mic in a minute, please.
Mr. Valentine, great to have you on Violet Space again. Mine is pretty straightforward. For a while, you went really quiet on the timeline. People thought that perhaps you had stopped supporting Peter Obi, who thankfully you've talked about today as your mentor. Is there a particular reason why you seemingly took a step back? Because it worried those of us who wanted to continue going hot on the timeline. That's my question.
All right, thank you so much. So let me go back to the first question on the obedience. Quite frankly, what I just owe the obedience first is depth of gratitude. They've always been there. They are the real force of opposition in Nigeria today. And they're the game changer. It's just that unfortunately sometimes we do go with discordant tones and then we miss the mark. And that's what's happened in a couple of places. And I hope we get it right in Edo and Anambra. But something tells me that we're already on the right track in Anambra, because I recall last year when the obedience in Anambra came together for an inaugural meeting since after the election. They didn't waste time to endorse me.
We have lost you, sir.
Are you still there? Can you hear me?
We can hear you now, but we lost
Okay,
you for
I
like
think
30
I
seconds.
don't know what's going on. Maybe when my phone goes blank, then you lose me. So I'm just going to be touching it from time to time. So the point I was making was basically saying thank you to the obedience. They have never wavered in adopting me in uh, wherever they've always gathered to talk about Anambra State. And that has already happened among the obedience in Anambra State. And it's reassuring also seeing that it's not just about those in Anambra alone that are buying into this project. So when you ask me, what do I want from obedience? It's continued support. Now that I thought was appropriate was to leave Soludo alone for the first 2 years. With all the mistakes he was making with Maro, I thought that if I started hitting very early, people would think it was just politics. And I wanted a number of people to have a good feel of him. And I believe now they do, especially when he mounts the podium to talk about in exaggerating what he hasn't even achieved. And we needed to make sure we hold him accountable and let him know it's not about rhetorics, it's not about effort, it's about results and outcomes. And this is why I waited till now to engage. And of course, you know that having started, a lot of paid pipers will now want to kick back, push back, and this is when we actually need obedience to do the needful. So please pay attention to what is happening in Anambra, because Anambra Project is not for Anambra people alone. And I'm sure you understand that. Anambra Project is an important project for our collective vision and desire for this country. And so do not think you're doing this to help Valentine. You're doing this to help yourselves. And then, of course, I am mindful of the fact that I'm leading the fight, and therefore I am exceptionally grateful for that. And then for what you said about Olumide, I already offered to him when we held a meeting in Abia State, when Alex Oti hosted the entire members of the National Working Committee and all the aspirants from Edo. I was there and I spoke. I actually went there to represent Peter Obi. And so, Bolanle, I haven't been far from Peter Obi. It's just that he's busy doing his own stuff nationally. I'm busy doing my own stuff in Anambra State. That's what it should be. When I was following him during his campaign, there was no Anambra in the offing. Now, my project is taking my own priority because somebody has to be on ground to play the ground game. If I keep following him around, it wouldn't help me in Anambra State as much as going down, meeting people, and becoming their choice. So this is why I need to be there to consult. And I'm sure you also saw both of us in Cote d'Ivoire when we went to watch. So if I was far away, I wouldn't be the only person who would travel to a foreign country to go support our egos on. So you have no reason to fear. We're in it together. We will, like people will say, we die here. We're not giving up at all. So that's what I will say to you. Thank you.
You are truly a Valenza. Welcome, sir. Thank you. All right. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Please, Anambarians, please come up here and ask questions. It's important. And it's not just Anambarians, so please. Obedience worldwide, because it's an obedient project also. All right, let's go real quick. Let me bring in my brother Abdul Rahman. Please, obedience, if you're on this platform and you're not following Abdul Rahman, you're not trying. These are the voices that we need to start amplifying. These are the new influencers that we are going to take food from the mouth of all those children of the roasted corn. Please follow Abdurrahman, my brother. Abdurrahman, how are you doing? Good evening. Please, you have the space in a minute.
All right, thank you very much, Emir Salim, and everyone. Good evening to you all. Saval, it's a privilege, should I say, speaking with you. I'm very, very happy hearing your CV blew me away. I mean, you people like you who has done a lot in the corporate world should come into the governance and try. I mean, if I had a company, I would, if I can afford to hire you to come and make those differences, I would possibly do so. But thank you. So, as an agropreneur, if I a small scale farmer, I just want to ask you questions with regards to possibly your plans in Anambra State that has to do with agriculture in that state. I know maybe it may be a long story, but just give me a glimpse across the the distribution chain. Should I say, okay, across the agri chain, what possibly may you be focused on? Maybe the crop production, the distribution, the processing part. I have someone who once messaged me on this platform and say, "Hey Abdul, let's get on, let's do something. I want to process grapes, but I want to situate my factory in Anambra." So I just wanted to know maybe if you had some plans uh, regards agric in your state. I've never been to Anambra, but I know the prospects are there, the opportunities are there. So thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you. Another question.
All right. Thank you very much, Abdurrahman. Let's go to Real Jack. Real Jack, you're here for the longest too. I'll take you, Real Jack. Please, in a minute, please, your question. Real Jack, are you there?
Yes, I'm just having a little bit network issue. I'm here. Good evening, everybody. I think mine will go in form of just a little contribution without taking much of your time. I think
Real Jack, please, we don't need contributions now, brother. All we need questions, please. It's important to ask questions so that people that you contribution can come after the space. But right now,
maybe since he's already has the mic, maybe just 1 minute so he can do it quick.
All right.
Okay, no problem, Saddam. Okay, I think this is going to be the question I'm going to ask. Okay, if that be the case, we have seen just a few days ago, more especially, we have seen in Anambra that roads were built, and we just had a rainfall, and it beats my imagination that the rain washed away a road that was built supposedly by a sitting administration. So I just wanted to know what difference are you going to do, or the approach you're going to take when it comes to infrastructure development in your state, if peradventure, as God is going to have it, become the governor of Anambra State. I think this is my question. Thank you and God bless you.
All right, thank you. Since these two questions are now bordering on my promise and my leadership style for the Anambra, let me just speak generally on that, and then I'll come to the specifics. I will actually share something. I'm going to search for it and share with you, Saddam. Maybe you can pop it up on this. This is what I used in 2021, because this is not the first time I'm doing this. I had spent time with people, intellectuals, and then also visited the 21 local governments, in some cases up to 7 times. And it wasn't just those type of visits where you go and they clap for you, you give them drink, and no, I sit down to actually listen to them, asking simple questions. What would you expect from your government if I get in there? What would I do to impress you? And that's when you begin to understand the dynamics that, what may appeal to the elderly ones may be different from the younger ones. from the male to the female, from the geographical differences. If you're talking about Oman Balagzis, it may be different from Oda Goata, for instance. And this was how we then sat down to craft the blueprint on what we're going to deliver. And we timed it, we phased it, the first month, first 1 year, and what are the expected outcomes? And we devised 3 approaches to governance that if we embark upon, there's no way that magic wouldn't happen. First approach was what I call sector approach. Basically, which sectors are important to us? And again, listening to the Anambra, they will tell you, number 1 is security, number 2 is roads. Then you go into the HDIs, the education, health, and economy, and then agriculture. And then you can go into the rest, technology, sports, and co. So we prioritize things accordingly and to make sure we are going to each of those areas and get them impressed. So apart from sector approach, we also identified cluster approach. And sometimes, just like one of the mistakes Soludo is making is he will buy 1 million seedlings and distribute across Anambra State, and he wouldn't see the impact because basically he promotes subsistence farming. I would rather do a cluster approach so I can concentrate and have what I call economy of scale. And those clusters, for instance, Onitsha. How do we make Onitsha a true commercial hub? Just like what Alex Oti is doing in Aba. If we had used that money and spread it in the whole of Abia State, nobody would be talking about Alex Oti today. But you identify places of impact where if you get it right, you're touching lives of millions of people, Nigerians, Igbos, and whatever, whoever that comes across. So Onitsha is that important. In fact, more important because that's the largest market in West Africa.
Your phone have gone blank again, sir. You know, let me just add to this before it comes back. You know,
I'm back. Mm-hmm.
Sir, please point back again to that. If you could just circle back to that Onitsha being the biggest market in West Africa.
Yes. So I will prioritize Onitsha. Sit down again with. In fact, I've started doing that with the real stakeholders in Onitsha, both the indigenous and the residents, to ask how do we build systems, not some ad hoc makeshift approach, systems. Be it water system, be it power systems, be it bandwidth for technology, whatever, be it port systems, be it a transportation system, be it anything to bring law and order, so that when you go to Onitsha, you will feel the essence of it. How do we do similar in a place like Newi for industrial businesses? How do you deal with Oka, the state capital? And then that brings me to Oman Balagzis. That is the hub I have in mind for agribusiness, because that's really their forte. Be it water and land, forest, everything you need is there. If you are able to put more money in agriculture, support the farmers, and drive the entire value chain from primary production to processing, and then that takes me to the last approach, which is partnership approach. You know that Anambra, brags about highest number of billionaires in this country, and it's true. But how do we leverage this? Why won't you attract those guys to get in there? What do they need to be comfortable? If it's land, give them. If it's tax cuts, whatever you need to do. The one you can't do alone that you need the federal government to be part of, you engage, you be the one driving it. If you do this, and that area, in fact, that whole corridor of Newe Onitsha, Oman Balagzis, can be the belt to drive production, industrialization, and agri-processing. And because we also now have the airport there, export becomes easy. So dealing with these will solve a lot of our problems, whether job creation, poverty eradication, and the right economy and competitiveness that we're looking for. So this is the approach we have. And we're even going further in all this thinking to say we need to improve on our promise. We have made this promise in 2021. Now it's 2024. We've got to also look for what more we need to do. So we started engagement again. Few months ago, I took a couple of people, locked ourselves in a room for 3 days, brainstorming about Anambra State. Because the way we do our things, we usually will have, I hope you're still hearing me, we will have the best engagement, the best media, the best promise. And so that when we win, you also know we're going to have achieved the best governance. So that's what I would say when it comes to agribusiness. We're going to focus on a few crops and make sure Anambra's name is top in the list. And we'll take it to the entire value chain up to storage and export. And then for the question by Jack on roads, obviously, road comes very highly, very topmost in terms of Anambra need. Of course, anywhere you go to. And it is not just about the length of road, it's also the quality of construction. If you listen to my interview this evening on Arise with Charles Aniagolo, I emphasized on this. You see, if you have run a business, I have been CEO of two PLCs, and therefore I understand corporate governance. If you know what we did in Transcorp Hilton, for instance, where the hotel had been almost like 30 years, and I was appointed as the first CEO since after the acquisition by Transcorp. And when I got here, I met my board and I said to them, my understanding of this industry, if you don't do a major upgrade within the first 30 years of any operation, you're going to get to a level that this hotel will go down that you start wondering whether to demolish it and start building a new one. And so we have no option than to renovate it. I'm just trying to use this to buttress how quality-minded I am. So when they gave me the nod to explore this, I recalled that when Transcorp Hilton was built, about the same period, a similar hotel was built in Geneva. And this hotel, if you had entered Transcorp Hilton and entered that one, you wouldn't know which country you were in. So basically the same contractor, the same design, the same everything. So, and I heard that they had done their upgrade and people were commending what they did. So some of our guests would tell us, oh, if you go to the Geneva Hilton, this time it's no longer Hilton anymore. If you go to that hotel, that is not Kempinski or something like that, that they've redone it totally, you'll be impressed. I said, okay, don't worry. I boarded a flight, headed to Geneva, I called the GM, looked at it, and I was impressed. I said to them, who did this? And he said, a Swedish interior designer. I got a number, called him, invited him to Geneva immediately. We met. Next night, I brought him to Nigeria. We went through the bidding process, and he was very competitive. We hired him, and that's how we operated the hotel. And that's how we started winning awards. Today, you can't come to Hilton without booking a few days in advance because you won't have a room. It is the best, one of the top 3 Hiltons globally. And if you also look at the external works we did, you would see. So anything you do, you must have your eye on quality. I was saying to the Anambra people in the interview, Soludo has been used an engineer for his consultancy work. So you just give a contractor work, and then he will now go and be inspecting and telling the commissioner, you're incompetent, you're this, and it shocks me. And it crosses my mind, okay, who really is Soludo? He has never been a CEO. He's been either a lecturer or an advisor. Even as a CBN governor, that's the chief economic advisor to the president. So when you're a CEO, you have numbers, you're answerable to your shareholders. Transcorp PLC had 300,000 shareholders. So anytime I go on investor call, I am ready to take on questions, and explain what I'm doing with their money, with their investment. And that makes for accountability. So all this road that he built substandardly, that have been washed away by water, who's going to pay for it? And that's the question I was asking. A number of people must hold him accountable. He has to pay for it. That's how to hold people accountable. Part of the problem in this part of the world is that we just take anything and somebody builds a few roads with your own money, not his own money, and we applaud him. I also say that building road is not an achievement. It is a basic thing you have to do and do right. So I will obviously emphasize quality, and 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 that's it. If instead of building 400-kilometer road that will be washed away overnight, I'll build 200 that will last for a long time. People should stop all this thing about bragging about I build longer roads, and then so that's what Soludo is doing. And because it's obviously derailed, and I don't want to say other things yet. I don't want to go personal, but I know why they are doing things in a substandard manner. If you work with top contractors, obviously you may not have room to siphon money. But if you work with all these local contractors, you make deals, and that's once you go into that arena, that's why you must applaud Alex Oti for what he's doing in Abia. So if you're asking how I'm going to treat Anambra, look at Alex Oti. I'll be looking to even outduel Alex Oti. That's my simple answer. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. That's like, very elaborate answer. All right, quickly. So what we'll do, so we can take as many questions as possible. Please, if you come up, just ask your question in 1 minute. Then if I know like obedience is worldwide and this is not restricted to people in just Anambra State, but so we can, of course, Mr. Val is going to be, he's the violence. So that's why I don't even, for me, it's not really like we have a special guest because I know we're having like a lot of time after. So please, if you know you're from Anambra State, you can send me a DM. Like if you have like a pressing question you want to ask now, you can send me a DM, then I would try to bring you up as soon as possible. But for those of us that we have here, I don't know, Dari, you want to ask Mr. Val a question?
Oh yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Val. Anyways, I'm very familiar with you because I did my national youth service at Transcorp Power, Ugeli, Delta State. So yeah, I know you probably Mr. EGK Alumni was our chief. It was our CEO then. Yeah. So, but anyways, also you already answered my question, which was about uh, should Anambra people be expecting something like Alex Soti from you, probably less or more, in the same time frame, which you have actually somehow answered because we are not the only ones on this space, and yeah, I want them to hear it, and I want us to be able to go out there and want to push that for you, so that they will know that we've never experienced good governance before. We've never experienced it in Nigeria. So now that we are experiencing good governance through Alex Soti, you've also made mention of that we should be expecting, or a number of people should be expecting something of Alex Soti also from you. So thank you for that. You've already answered my question. So thank you very much.
No, I haven't answered it. I'll give you a better answer now. So let me tell you this. The amazing thing is that on the one hand, I have a P2B who has done exceptionally well in the same state that I'm seeking to govern as somebody that I'll take counsel from. And then on the other side, I have Alex Oti, who is my friend, my brother, and we're already discussing, and I already know his trade secrets, how he's achieving what he's achieving. And then I combine that with my competitive mindset where I would want to even outperform these two men. Just then wonder what Anambra is in for. Does that answer your question now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much, Dari. Thank you very much, Mr. Val. All right, quickly, I'll just take Mr. Ikin. Mr. Ikin has been here for even from the initial topic. So, Mr. Ikin, I'm sure you want to ask a question, so go ahead.
Yeah, well-meaning Nigeria. I hail Saddam, Sizzle, Valentine. I hail. Oh, I'm from your state, Anambra State. I'm actually from Nnewi, Otolo Nnewi. Um, Listen, I wanted to make a submission earlier, but let me give you a quick question, right? I know that Anambra has a very strong ABGA presence, right? Some of it is due to the legacy that PO left there. And I don't think today the Anambarians, right? I think the majority of them voted for PO. So it's not even a question of whether or not if PO throws his weight behind you, you wouldn't have the votes. But we saw what happened in 2023 elections. So ABGA being on ground speaks of established structure on ground. So it might not be a matter of who won the hearts of the people, but how were the votes counted at the end of the day. So whereas you may not be able to reveal some of your strategies now, my question or hope is that you have a strategy to counter that in terms of establishing the structures to get your votes counted at the end of the day. Other than that, I listened to your submission, and beyond that, you're someone I've followed in the past. I think you're very articulate, and beyond articulation, I don't think it's just somebody who talks the talk. I mean, you've walked the walk in terms of your achievements in the corporate world, and I think you do excellently for Anambarians, and I hope you do end up taking up that mantle. I wish you all the best. Saddam, after the Val exits, I may come back and make my submission. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. You raised a lot of important points, and you also seem to also have a good understanding of what I should be doing, and also ended up also saying that I shouldn't also reveal all the secrets here. So let me let you know that we are in this race because it's a noble purpose to pursue. We are in this because that's the right thing to do. The why, WHY, is very compelling. We're in it because this is actually about the soul of Nigeria and the soul of the Anambra. If they understand all the why, we will sweep this election. And then that goes in, takes us to the issue of how do you protect the mandate? We actually now have structure on ground, perhaps stronger than what ABGA have had in the past. When you consider the fact that almost all the urban areas, Labour is in control, from House of Assembly to House of Reps and Senate, we have what it takes to deliver. I won't say a lot more than that. I believe that by the time we go out there and we do the needful, we will be able to protect the mandate, no matter the pressure that will come from any quarters. So it's beyond.
I think your screen has gone out again. I think it's like an Android issue, though.
Issue, and this is actually why I wanted to use my laptop, but it was laptop that was giving us issues in the past. I went back to my phone. Okay, so in summary, we have seen a clear pathway to victory, and I don't want to go beyond that. So you're right. We have seen the legacies of ABGA in the past. The truth is that all of that has been weakened considerably. The election in 2021, believe it or not, if things had been, if not for one or two mistakes, we actually won the election. So ABGA thing is, and with what happened in 2023, Labour has taken over. So for Soludo, if you know what he battled for his life to even get some seats in the House of Assembly because he knows the threat from Labour. So when we come together and do the needful, we will sweep Abge away from office. Take that to the bank. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Val. All right, quickly, I just said it's like Anna Barikuna soon are many for you. Saddam Bila soon I get a parapo meeting for this place because the DM that I received now that I just said, my DM, if I don't reply you, I saw your DM, sorry, but I mean, I'll try to bring as much people up. All right, quickly, I'll go straight to, okay, let's take a lady. Let's go to Mary White.
NC sound is up. Oh.
Ah, no, lady first.
No, ladies first. Ladies
Nah,
first.
ladies
Ladies
first.
first.
This cheating.
He one number, you know, one number.
This is season of Bobrisky. Bobrisky is NC's
Say,
identifier.
men are moving in place of ladies first.
Chukwajo, please, one number is nowhere near that. Let me just be quiet. Hi, Mr. Val Ozigbo. No, sir. So, my thing is, I'm not from Anambra, but I know people I know that Ihiala is in Anambra. And I know that there's actually a lot of insecurity when it comes to, and Ihiala is one of, I guess, I don't know if it's a local government that is so close to Imo State. And the part of Imo State that it's close to, it's so besieged by insecurity, especially with all this Umuoma, or I think that is coming up. I do know of very close friends that haven't even been to villages to their villages in Ihiala for a long time. So my question is, what plans do you have when it comes to dealing with insecurity, not just in Ihiala alone, but Anambra as a whole? That's my question. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much.
So now to revert back to two questions.
Okay, go ahead.
1 minute, let's take two questions each.
All right, quickly. So maybe we should just take Otumba DK's question. Then after he answers that, the NCs can go ahead.
All right, thank you. Greetings, Mr. Val. I'm from Anambra State, a proud son of Anedo. And we've actually met at Golden Tulip, Agolo, at Chike's investiture. So for those who are asking about Mr. Val Ozigbo, he's in the grassroots. We see him. You understand? He's in the grassroots, so he's well grounded. So my question quickly, it's about rail system. I'm very particular about this because I'm one of the few people who's opportune to live in 4 different states in the Southeast. So it's harder for me to sometimes shuttle it with the type of Soludo quality of road. I'll just mention there was a time I went to visit for my in-laws' birthday. At Enugu, I passed that Amansi Road. On my way back, water don't carry our road. So that's the type of roads that we'll be getting for Anambra. And this was in the earlier stage of Soludo's administration. So I've been wondering if there was a rail system, then probably the Southeast is kind of interconnected then. Someone who doesn't need to start having houses everywhere, just to, meet up and with work burden. So I'm just asking, do you have any plans for a real system? And the second question, which is a very soft question, is do you have any plans for youths in Anambra State to participate in party sort of politics, making the Labour Party in Anambra State a bit more transparent than it is? Apart from that, wishing you the best in your move to be the governor. And I'm telling you, you have a better chance now than before. And this is me speaking from the grassroots because I was in my hometown 2 days ago. And I think people have actually gotten that message that they were not getting in that previous time. So thank you very much. These are just my questions. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. And Yes, the momentum in the grassroots is actually very encouraging. And if you put up any poll today, you will find an overwhelming majority of people. The minimum I've seen as my score has been upward of 70%. And there was even one of us here who put out the poll that I was at 93%, and the current governor was at 3.5%. Yeah, it may not give you the fullest representation, but even when you consider considerable margin of error, it tells you that a number of people are basically saying we made a mistake in 2021, and 2025 is the time to correct that mistake. On the youth, I would say that I have, when I was introducing myself, I mentioned that I was nicknamed King of the Youth. There are several things I do for the youth from the governance perspective. And in fact, just today, I launched a global competition, a continental competition, which is freestyle football. It's something I've done, and I am the only African on the board of World Freestyle Football Association. And if you go on my Twitter handle, you see the post on that where we're leveraging this sport. We actually call it SPART, sport and art together, to help to encourage the younger generation, both men and women. And we are planning 2 events in Lagos in July and then in Algeria in October. Both are continental events. Now, with this event, for instance, I've had one of the Anambra guys has been the Nigerian champion. I flew him abroad, represented the country. So we use this Empower to expose, basically get people from the grass to grace kind of story. And with this, I'm just using this to signpost the fact that I am big when it comes to youth. Now, about their participation in politics, there's a lot of work to be done there. And usually we're careful. There's something you would do. The people on ground will feel threatened, like you're here to displace them. That's one thing you must not do in politics. We encourage the youth to come on board, but it's not necessarily to come and take over and displace those who are there. Would let them be a partner, and gradually you'll find that the space will clear for them. And that's how we're doing it. We're doing it in a subtle way, not in a very bullish way. Otherwise, you will not show the right sensitivity that you require when it comes to politicking. I can explain that privately more. And then let me go to the issue of rail. Rail is already part of agenda. In fact, I was talking to, I think, Professor Wambara, who is the secretary for the Southeast Development Commission, when they were sharing the Enyimba City project. And I was happy to see that even though the rail network that the federal government was doing more or less avoided the Southeast, but internally, there are things we can do to connect to one another. So it's there, and there's still going to be a lot more study to be done. And what I intend to do, my priority will go into getting other infrastructure like power and roads, and then focus on education. And then I will start this project, which may not end in my tenure, but you'll see that. And if for any reason Soludo starts it, I will pursue it further because I know the importance of it. I say this because there's one of the issues that is coming up, which is issue of zoning. For those in Anambra who are listening to me, they will understand it. My intention is actually to run for just one term of 4 years. And that 4 years is enough for me to leave impact. But there's also one thing I intend to do, a proper succession planning, such that the legacy that we're going to build can be sustainable. So, and one of those things we may not be able to complete in the first term, unless started earlier by the previous administration. is real and is something that will get the right attention. Mary White, you spoke about insecurity, and you're totally right. If you had watched my video, the one that's gone viral, you will see I emphasize this. In fact, all the boundary areas with Imo is unsafe. From Ihiel, and when I say Ihiel is a town and it's also a local government. But within the Ihiel local government, there's what we call Ebonesi, which includes Lilu, Asia, Osumogu, Iseke, Mbosi. Almost, almost all the palaces there have been burned, and the Igbo is chased away. And, that's how bad it is. And so they can almost write a letter to you and inform you they're coming, and nothing happens. Then from there, if you go to the Nnewi South Axis, Opo, Amiji, the same thing. If you go further down to where even Governor Soludo is from, the old Agwata, Orumba, not Orumba side, same thing. All those boundary areas. So to solve insecurity, again, I won't tell you everything I'm going to do here, but to solve it, there are things you have to do within the state, partnering with the local community. And to be honest, if you you wouldn't believe it, if you conduct a proper local government election and empower people.
Your screen has gone out, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
yeah, just a simple thing as conducting local government election, getting people at the grassroots empowered, working with the traditional institutions and the present generals, empowering the vigilantes and giving them equipping and training and leveraging technology, you can achieve a lot. If you then come to working with the state security agencies, the federal, that also will take you further. But there are also some aspect that you need to then do in collaboration with your fellow governors within the region, um, like in the Southeast. And then, of course, given that also we have a boundary with Delta State, partnering with these governors so that they stop, these criminals don't stop. If you chase them in Anambra, they move to Imo. If you chase them in Imo, they move back to Anambra. You've got to have a concerted effort to make sure you end it in the region. And then you also need to leverage the center, the national. If you have this in a coherent manner and you leverage technology, there's a lot you can do. Because within the same Southeast, some states are safer. And the question you're going to ask is why and how? I have the answers, but I'll keep that to myself for now. And then I think that's all 42. Thank you.
Yes, that's all. Thank you very much. I know how stressful it must be keeping your phone full screen active. If you are just joining us, you're welcome. You've been listening to Mr. Valentine Ozigbo, one of the aspirants or an aspirant for. First of all, is an obedient, so that's the most important one for me. Then an aspirant for the Anambra State election. I know there are so many people on my DM that want to ask a lot of questions. Apologies if I've not brought you up. It's because the speaker section is currently full. It's not because I'm disregarding you. So apologies. We'll just try and take as much as we can today. If we can't take it today, there will always be some other time. So for now, I'll just take.
Can I throw my question in?
Yeah, NCs can go ahead now. Yes.
All right. So, Mr. Val, I want to first report Governor Soludo to you. In November of 2023, Governor Soludo created a program called One Youth, Two Skills. And apparently they said that they disbursed 2 billion naira to 5,000 Anambra youths for them to learn 2 skills per youth. I'm a numbers man. 2 billion naira divided by 5,000 is 400,000 naira. I have asked quietly, if you do a giveaway here on Twitter and share 2 billion to 5,000 Nigerian youths at an average of 400,000 naira per youth, I promise you, you will not be looking for evidence of those youths till today. The boy that Tunde not that won Camry at Tunde Not's birthday, we are not looking for him. He's on social media. So I'm just saying this because there are so many ways the Soludo administration is showing a lot of ineptitude, cluelessness, and downright wasting of taxpayers' money. And we just focus a lot on the roads. Google this thing, I'm telling you, November 2023, one youth, two skills. And we cannot find one youth that was given at least 400,000. So let's just, why I'm saying this is because there's a lot of work to do. There is a lot of work to do. I corroborate your statement where I tell you I have always believed that one term of 4 years is more than enough for any Nigerian leader to leave a lasting impact. Nelson Mandela did not need 2 terms. And at the rate Alex Otti is going in 4 years, I really don't think there's any much more work to be done in Abia. The rest, any other governor will coast from there. So why am I saying all of this? I want you to make us a promise that you will work. There is a PTSD or a trauma we are facing on 2 fronts. The people who use LP to run on reps and senators are not necessarily making us proud. They seem like a bunch of lucky people. They bought Labour Party form early and they just rode on the obedient movement to success. You see a lot of them making flaky remarks and behaviors in public. But now we seem to have organized the movement a bit better, and we are more hands-on with the people we'll put into power. You being one of them, Olumide Akpata, fingers crossed, in Edo State being one of them. I need you to make us a promise that you will take Anambra serious. I'm saying this because I went to UNN. Professor Soludo is really disappointing me. I am so sad. There's a level of succession I thought Anambra would go through that by now we wouldn't be talking like this. So please, I want you to make us that promise. That's one. Then 2, I want to ask you something. Peter Obi made a lot of strides in education in Anambra State to the point that we are seeing a lot of the dividends of them right now. What plans do you have to take education in Anambra State, the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, and the rest of them to higher heights? Is there, a possibility that even in the top 100 universities in the world, they will say Anambra State University will be there? What plans do you have for education in Anambra State? And I need a promise from you to take Anambra serious. Soludo has really disappointed us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Because of how loaded your question is, I won't wait for a second one to answer right away. And I have to thank you first for reporting Soludo to me. And trust me, I'm gonna ken him when I meet him. That's what happens when you report somebody to somebody. Now, let me tell you this. Please, and I speak very seriously now. Promise is not enough. I've always emphasized what I call the 4 Ps when it comes to politics. The first thing is the person, the personality involved. Who is this person? His character, his competence, his commitment, his compassion, level of compassion. In fact, I dare say his emotional intelligence. Who he is the first thing that we must, because you can have a wrong person making promise. It means shit. It means nothing. So we start by who the person is. Is the person properly wired? Is he being driven by the right purpose and objective? Who is this person? I have tried my best to demonstrate that I am the type of person you need. Because if it was fame or money, I wouldn't be doing this. I came to make a sacrifice. I came to basically answer that call, like I told you at the beginning. beginning. Dead, I'll be able to say to God, I tried my best towards changing the story of Black man in the world. This is what's driving me. Number two is, of course, the party platform, which has already been ticked. You have to run on that right party and go through the right process. That's the third P. And then you come to the issue of promise. And what I would tell you is this. I want to leave a legacy. I want, when you mention Nnamdi Azikiwe, Odumegwu Ojukwu, Alex Ekweme, Peter Obi, you mentioned my name. This is the biggest driver that I have. I want to write my name in gold. This is why I'm in this race. And that's why when people thought maybe, oh, as the candidate of PDP, you're a leader in PDP and stay with Atiku Abubakar, I said, no. No. In Igbo, they say, Afunye Kubi, Eloba. The truth is that I am not one of those transactional politicians. I'm not those type of politicians you can buy. You won't even dare. You won't even have the temerity to make an offer to me. And it's not about today. If you go back in time from my banking days, you will understand really who Val Ozigbo is. Part of the reason you would go to Anambra today and you're asking for a possible replacement to Soludo, and you speak to 100 people, 80 will mention my name, because I have been diligent in building my brand and my little goodwill. Of course, I will not take away the grace of God. And I also try to make the right association. So I wouldn't have the type of mentors that I am mentioning here. I wouldn't be the type of person that I've grown up to become. And I wouldn't be driven by this type of purpose. And then I'll go and mess things up. Trust me, Anambra people will be proud by the time I become their governor. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Val. Thank you. That question was even me, not be me that asked the question. The way NC say promise, and that's actually very, very, because I mean I'm tired of people just coming to sound political and just say, oh, I know this, I know that. It's very important that we start to weigh people's character. Thank you very much.
Before we actually leave, so on education, he had a rider on education, which I haven't touched. So again, on education, I've always emphasized 3 core objectives that I intend to achieve. 1 is quality, 2 is affordability, and 3 is relevance. On quality is across board. The quality of the infrastructure, quality of teaching, and making sure that we will drive quality through performance management. One of the things I like to set up is where in any school under my watch, we will be celebrating the best teachers, and the students will vote for who their best teacher is, and they'll be rewarded. And the worst teachers too will be punished. I would drive performance from the educational system to drive quality. Second thing is affordability. And to do this, we will do that in 2 ways, either through the subvention, the budget we make out, hopefully achieve the UNESCO standard of 25% of budget into education. And where possible, we will leverage our Anambra billionaires to partner with us in taking education affordability to the next level so that everybody will have an opportunity. It will not be about money. At least, especially those from the low class people who may not be able to afford it. And the next is relevance. By this, I'm talking about the curriculum, the content. What are we teaching them? How is this comparable to the rest of the world? How is this related to the marketplace? If there are areas of emphasis, for instance, we are taking a particular crop in agriculture or focusing on motor manufacturing or any other thing, how do we make sure that the research and everything that goes on in the university around us and polytechnics are such that graduates will be able to add value, not where you have half-baked graduates who, when they go for such job, there's no value to add. And taking down to the primary level, how do we emphasize technology, machine learning, coding, and all of that at a younger age, so that we can actually be the technology hub for Africa? So there's a lot we have in stock, and I have seen where these things are done, practicalized, and I'm in touch with those who executed it to make sure we get it right in Anambra State. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Quickly, I'll just go straight. Let's take a lady. I'll take Fetch. After Fetch, I'll come to. So let's just take the questions, maybe like 2 or 3 questions, so Mr. Val can answer all at once. I'll take Fetch, Ifeanyi, and Ezechiku.
Sorry, please. Anambra women on this page, please come and ask question on before. I mean, I'll ask him question on whether the bride price is too high. So come and ask question.
Oh, I can't believe you want to, Saddam. Saddam, you need us to do contribution. Is that what you are talking? Go straight to the point like this. You need us to raise money. Question, let's say somebody don't give you this instantly.
Sir, please, what do you do about the bride price of Anambra women?
I will empower you so you can afford it.
Oh, that's the perfect answer. That's the perfect answer. All right, let's quickly have Fetch, then Ifeanyi, then Easy Chikwelu.
Good evening, Mr. Val.
Good evening, Fetch.
It's good to have you on our violence space once again. Yes, you know, like Saddam would say, you've been on the space 3 times, you're irregular. So you're irregular violencer, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, my first of all, first of all, I just want to make a comment. You made a promise. You said something about being a one-time term governor. Sir, please don't make that kind of promise, please. Because in Anambra State right now, we've had 8 years of I don't know what, and another 4 years of I don't know whether we're moving backwards or marking time in place, you know. So, sir, please don't make that kind of promise, because we need to build strong institutions. So the only condition under which you do that kind of one term is if you've been able to build strong institutions that will withstand whatever weak or incompetent people that come in afterwards. Because like they always say, strong institution lasts, but strong men don't, because it is what we lack in Nigeria, strong institutions. My question, sir, is this. What are your plans? What's your vision, you know, for Ayamelum local government, for Anam, Ogbaru, you know, all those agrarian areas of Anambra State, which, yes, have been opened up under Peter Obi, but right now, the people seem to be on their own, basically, you know. What are your plans, sir? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
If
Are you
Okay,
asking the plans vis-a-vis the flooding situation that happens there perennially, or what?
No, his plans as per, you know, those areas are agrarian, and they,
don't worry,
you know,
I understand. I will touch
he
on that.
understands my question. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, okay, let's just take Ifeanyi's question. Did Ifeanyi drop? Okay, fine, you are here. Ifeanyi, go ahead. Then we'll come
Yeah,
to
I'm here.
Sorry,
good
before
afternoon, everybody.
before Ifeanyi goes, sorry, Ifeanyi, before you go, let me just say this. Everything is said about the CV and achievement about awards he won is 100% legitimate. In fact, there's a video about it on the Jumbotron. I mean, Anambra people, if you guys miss him, man, Otilo, man, I'm telling you, this guy is exactly what. I mean, he's not blowing his trumpet enough, and he's following Peter Obi's footstep. He's quiet, but his CV is freaking loud. Don't miss this dude. I'm not hyping him. I don't even have his number. It's just what it is. Back to you guys.
All right, if I mean that's on check, man.
That's a fact checker.
Go ahead.
Fact
Go
checker.
and verify.
Yeah.
Good afternoon,
Jimmy
Mr.
is need to
Val.
go and verify with the person.
Good afternoon, Saddam. Women in Nigeria, I greet all of you this afternoon. I myself, I am from Anambra State, and I'm actually from Omomark. I think you mentioned that you were born there, if that's correct. But I have two questions here. One of them borders around security and the agriculture, because we all know how important security is. So even though you've talked on that, yeah, but I still have a particular aspect that I would like to know, bring to your attention, or to know what you would do to address situations. So I know that Anambra State, apart from the insecurity we have, the regular insecurity we have with banditry and the unknown gunmen and all of that, there are still communal clashes, villages fighting and killing each other, affecting agricultural, affecting people's opportunity to go to their farm. So in general, affecting the food produce of the state. I know the FEC also mentioned those areas, and all of those Amambra people, which you mentioned that you already know that they are very there's good opportunity around that area for agriculture, right? But if you know that area very well, which I will assume that you do based on what you said before, you will know that you will find out that there are some communal clashes going on around there. So I'm looking at Ibariam. I'm using Ibariam for example. I don't know if you know Ibariam very well.
Sorry, fine. I'm very sorry to interrupt. I just wanted you to maybe try and just ask the question directly, so we don't, so it doesn't forget the first question I was asking.
Okay. So let me go. Let me be more straightforward. So what I'm trying to say is that Ibariam, for example, Ibariam Farm Settlement is known for agricultural produce, for farming, and currently the other part of Ibariam, which is the main Ibariam, the original Ibariam indigenes, which are different from the Ibariam Farm Settlement, but they own the whole Ibariam before the government gave that part to the farmers, to the settlers, right? But now what is going on is that people living in the Ibariam Farm Settlement cannot go to their farms anymore, because the Ibariam indigenes are, like doing all kinds of evil things, killing people.
If I please just in 30 seconds, please wrap up the question, please.
Okay, so my question is, what will you do to address communal clashes and in particular that Ibariam area? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Let's just take one more question before Mr. Val answers. Is the Chikwelu, go ahead.
Thank you everyone for having me down. I want to stand on existing protocol. Mr. Ozigbo, good evening, sir. Kekime. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Yes, Adema, thank you. Go ahead.
Yes. As a violencer, Mr. Ozigbo, Imana, everything you say, violence space, so everything you say here, we will hold you to it, and I'll remember it. But to begin with, I want to say something. I used to have a very big beef towards you, because when you took over Transcorp, I expanded my exposure in Transcorp heavily. Then all of a sudden, you announced that you were leaving. I swear, I was so angry. If you speak to my very close friend, I was so angry. I was like, what is he doing? Where else is he going? right? Then I saw you beside Peter, and you announced that you had interest in this. And I said, okay, I've forgiven you. This is the only reason why you should leave that position, right? Because I know how critical power is to Nigeria. Because when you took over, I was looking at power. I wasn't just looking at the hotel. I was looking at power, you know. I wanted you to bring yourself to it. Now you come into Anambra, and what happened. Now we are here in this conversation. You stood beside Peter, and I was quite impressed. I want to say something. I was in Omoba in Onitsha in 2001, 2002 when Peter contested, right? Peter's election as a governor, the only thing that came close to it was Barack Obama's election. I'm not trying to hype it. I'm saying what I experienced as a person. Peter's election was the only time I saw in Nigeria where people voluntarily came together twice every week and contributed their money. When I say contributed money, 10 naira, 20 naira, 50 naira, because Peter's message came home to everybody. Prior to that, nobody knew him. But his message came home. He printed this flyer that had a solid profile of who he was, clear message, and the flyer was all over Onitsha. Everybody knew. And people listening to me, if you don't know Igbo men, right? For an Igbo trader, let me be as clear as I can, right? To bring his money independently and say, I'm supporting your cause, you must have struck a deep chord in the person. So, as an expo, Mr. V, until people start independently doing something for you in this race, please, you need to double your work. That's my metric. My metric is you will only know that your message is hitting home when people voluntarily come out and say, let's do this because we need to do this, right? Now that takes me to my question. Anambra is a very strong place, a very strong state. Anambra people, I don't think I'll be far from the truth if I say Anambra people cannot be bought or intimidated as a people because there's so much liquidity in the state. If you understand what I mean. But on the flip side, it makes it extremely difficult to manage those people. They are big, they are rich, they have big egos. Sir, my question is, how do you intend to navigate that murky water? Because when we get closer to the election, the real colors of people will start showing. How do you intend to deal with that complexity in order for us to get to that El Dorado? That's one. Two, my second question, I want to zoom out of Anambra and look at it regionally, right? So for us to have a strong regional economy, it means that you will have to navigate across parties. My personal opinion is one of the reasons why we've had setbacks in the Eastern region is because there is always this dichotomy, there is always these differences because PDP is here, APC is here, and this person is here. So we've not been able to tap into each other's potentials, link each other up. Sir, how do you plan to cross party lines and get your counterparts on the other side to do stuff that will link the region and enrich them? Those are my two questions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. A lot of insights actually being shared here, for which I'm grateful. When I was on the Arise interview, I made a call on the Anambra, basically calling for a memoranda on what they think. You know, what you find a lot of places in Anambra, they had actually taken time to study their problem, to propose solutions. And, I sat with one of, the revered people we have in Anambra, and he told me all the efforts and showed me documents of the thinking has gone into solving some of the regional problems we are facing there. And you find that sometimes you don't even need to reinvent the wheel. It was one of the things that drove me to make that call. So here I am, for instance, brainstorming about Newi, how to make it a true industrial hub, how to make Omambala or Ayamelum a true agri hub. Omambala people have already done stuff. I'm telling you, this is what, if you do this, you get it right. Trust me, if you then bring in some other external thinking to it and bring in some expert advice into it, you will land yourself in a trajectory where you can never go wrong. I can almost guarantee that. So, what I'm saying, in effect, is I'm not also here to tell you I know how to solve every number problem, but I have the personality, the listening ability, and the ability to put together a strong team, objective team, to evolve any solution to any problem in Anambra. So, one of the problems we face with the current administration today is somebody who just thinks he knows it all, who feels that your point of view is not important. How much more if he's opposing? Who every meeting is a monologue. Or he's the only one that will speak. If it's a 2-hour meeting, he will speak for 1 hour 45 minutes, and they use the remaining 15 minutes to eulogize him. And if you're even talking and you haven't met a first class, what and the question would be, what even gave you the temerity to speak out? So this is the difference in what I'm going to present in the Anambra. So basically, I'm laying this background to emphasize on the need to gain more insights as we progress along. Now, let's go to the questions. Fetch brought us back to the issue of agriculture and IMLM. When we use the word Omambala axis, it's actually 4 local governments there, which is Anambra East, Anambra West, OE, and IMLM. So they share a lot in common. They are mostly agrarian. They are water people, and they if you're able to deal with issues around agriculture, you have gotten them right. And one of the biggest challenges that they face is this perennial flooding, which has been a big issue. And I can tell you, it won't be easy for me to solve because you need beyond the state budget to solve it. But we can build the consensus, including the federal government and the international development institutions. We all can come together because some of these things border with the dams in Cameroon down to the dredging in Niger. There's a lot of things that we have to do and develop a system to solve this problem and perhaps even leverage the issue. We can turn this so-called weakness into a source of strength. So, of course, in between this, we'll make sure at least people don't die. When you anticipate this, you can actually manage it so that at any point in time, you are dealing with it from the short-term level, eventually to a long-term solution. So agriculture is the best option, best way to, and we need to move away from just subsistence and take it to where we can process and deal with the entire value chain. And then and this question is actually tied to what Ifani was talking about. Violence is ravaging a lot of communities in Anambra State, especially under Governor Soludo. For whatever reason, he meddles into little things and badly. If you confer a chieftaincy title, you have a problem with him. If your community doesn't vote for him, you have a problem with him. If basically he behaves like an Abga governor and not Anambra governor. So if he thinks you're not tilting, so there's a lot of issues of pettiness that actually is defining his administration. So he is not sitting down to resolve these issues. There's no concerted effort, and of course, there's no local government. When you use all this TC, people who don't have, they're not elected by the people, and they're not accountable to the people. If you want to solve some of these community problems, have a proper local government election, empower the local government chairman. You'll see 80% of these things go down. So that when you now want to focus on agriculture, you get the outcome you're expecting. So yes, if you ask me what am I going to do, I will find ways to solve all these communal issues and bring peace to Anambra State. And then for Ezechiku, you're totally on point. I like the way you described Anambra people. Emphasis on how egalitarian, how Republican, and how, in other words, difficult they can actually be. Um, but that's actually a source of strength for us. If you want to go back to what has happened in Anambra State, you find that all the urban areas, Soludo couldn't get his way. Why is it that the entirety of Onitsha North and South, we have 4 members of the assembly, all of them are Labour Party members? It's because when you run any election in the
planning to build depends on power. How does he plan to improve that in the state? So maybe you answer the question regarding power and Oka after Gaboni asked this question. Gaboni, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, Meaning. Um, Mr. Val, good evening, sir. It's a pleasure to be here to ask you this question. I'm from Anambra State. I'm from actually one of the smallest town in Anambra State, Amoka, in Iyala local government area. You know, my local government has always been a peaceful local government until recently, and it's a thing of shame, and it's really painful that with what is going on in Anambra in Iyala local government, talking about the Lilu, Osumei, Iyala itself, Uli, Amoka, and Iseke, and all that. You know, it has not been good. What is happening there with these ESN and all that? Please. Obviously, it is concrete because that Soludo is not interested in doing anything to curtail what is going on with the security issue in that axis. He has obviously not shown us, you know, that he's our leader, he's our governor, he's our leader in that our axis. It's really sad. I really want to know what you will do, because I schooled in Anambra State University Uli. I travel to the village a lot, and I understand the peace we used to experience in that area. But it's quite unfortunate that it's really difficult for us to go to the village for our ceremonies, Christmas, burials, weddings, and all that. It's really, really sad that we've not been going to the village for this occasion because of what is going on there. So please, how are you going to tackle that situation? Because I think that is one of the things I really want to ask. And another is, just to buttress what you said earlier on about the person of Soludo. My brother, my elder brother was, you know, he was a member of ABGA, you know, really close to the government. But until recently, because of the happenings of what is happening, he have to pull back. And what you just said really made me remember what he told me about Soludo when he goes to meeting, in treating the commissioners as if he's a lecturer, and everybody will just sit down in a SEC meeting and be listening to him, and he will speak for almost all the, like for 90% of the time they're in the meeting, nobody will contribute. And so I think that is not what a leader should be. That is not what a leader should be. And I just pray that your coming will give an embrace what the actual leadership we missed from Peter Obi. And I as an Anambarian, I will try my best, and as a loyal violencer and an obedience, to make sure I use my platform to push for your candidacy. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Mr. Val, sorry, before you go ahead with Gaboni's question, let me just add this one. Someone says that this one is more like a yes or no question. Is are you going to work on repealing ex-governor's pension bill, or, you know, I'm sure you understand my question.
Oh my God. Okay. Where do I start from? Let me start with this Oliamoka axis question, because just 2 days ago, I was in Oli. There was a new bishop of Olo, auxiliary bishop of Olo Diocese, but he is from Oli. Oli happens to be in Olo Diocese, even though Oli is in Anambra and Olo is Imo, but the way is contiguously designed, Oli is there. And somebody from Oli was just made the bishop of auxiliary bishop of Olo Diocese. So we went there, and we were hosted by ABC Ojiako and some of the friends I had there. We spoke about the insecurity ravaging those places, and is a major concern. But something interesting happened today. When I flew from Anambra Airport to Abuja this afternoon, I was with let me say, the House of Reps member representing Ihiala local government, federal constituency, and of course, boldly wearing his solution is ear cap. And when we got talking, it was almost like blowing trumpet of Soludo. And I asked him a simple question: can you go to your village? I was looking at me. Can you go to your village? Can you visit your village? Because, I was in the US with the Igwe of Lilu when his house was burned. I was also, the same period, this gentleman's house was also burned in his village. And then the other day, I visited the Igwe of Iseke, again in Ihia local government, and he was taking refuge in Oka because his palace was burnt. And this is the story everywhere. And I asked him a simple question. Has Governor Soludo ever called stakeholders of Ihiala to solve Ihiala security problem? He was looking at me. So what are you proud of? You are a refugee and you're proud of somebody who is making zero effort to correcting the wrongs. Then I'm shocked. And I gave him example of what Alex Oti is doing in Abia. Again, like I say, I won't tell you everything that I would do, but it's a major concern for me. And I've highlighted how, I was with this AIG. And then I asked him a simple question. What effort are you guys and the governor making about this insecurity? The guy laughed at me and said, I'm going into third month now in Anambra State, as AIG posted here, that once he met Soludo on the plane, and he went to his seat and told him the effort he has made to try and see him, just an access of an AIG to see a sitting governor. And Soludo told him, "Okay, don't worry, we'll see you when I go back." As at the time we were talking, he has never sat down with the governor with this level of insecurity. And I asked myself, so what is he doing with his time? If he cannot focus on this and meet with this guy every week, then I was disturbed, honestly. Anyway, the point here is, if you actually show leadership, if you show interest, if you're compassionate, if you show that we're talking about people's lives and people's livelihood, you act differently. So part of why we are suffering this is ineptitude, leadership failure, simple and short. And that's what I would say, my brother. I would do my best, and you'll be shocked and pleasantly surprised that you are going to be able to go back home when I get there. And then on the power issue, I'm happy that one of my former colleagues is there. It's an area that I have considerable insight in, and of course, willing to learn more. I have played at the power level as I understand all the technical and commercial issues we are facing, the challenges we face. So it's not an easy problem to solve, but it can be solved. And what I tell people is, face these things and deal with them incrementally. You will eventually solve it. You don't have to guarantee Anambra entirely, 100%. But you can focus on places like Onitsha, Oka, and Nnewi, for instance, where if you create some embedded solution there and create an in-situ solution, which is what, for instance, Geometric is doing in Aba, you would then allow the others in the grid, and they can now be serviced better because the major load coming from those other sides will be off that major grid. So the point is that we can leverage the embedded power system to provide power solutions, and we do have enough gas in Anambra. And guess what? Some of the biggest players in this industry are from Anambra State. Incidentally, from the EL axis, with Obi Jackson and AB Sojiako, if I sit them down and craft a solution, trust me, we will find the solution. And by the time we also sit down with Emeka Ofo on the disco side, we will reach a deal that will provide a solution on the power side. So I have my my plan worked out, and incidentally, some of the people driving These are part of my team in crafting the manifesto for Anambra State. So that what we put out there, the promise we make, obviously can be achieved. And about the last question about governor's pension and all that, let me think through this carefully. I don't want to give you any answer. I know I love what Alex Oti has done, especially for those criminally minded pensions. And obviously, thank God, somebody like Peter B, from day one, decided he would never sign it. So if it doesn't make sense, you can take it to the bank, it will be repealed. And but if I study it carefully and it's something worth living, because sometimes some of these things are just for the optics. When you see criminal ones, clearly you have to dunk it, and that's what I can guarantee you. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Val. I think, and I know if we leave you, you keep going. So, well, maybe we just take like the last round of questions. I don't know if that's okay by you. Then we can round up for today. But of course, I'm sure we'll have you for your violence. Like I was listening, I see. Funny enough, I see you more as a violence than a governor's aspirant. Apologies. So, I'll just take like the last round of question. Meanwhile, the question about the bill was actually asked by Justice. So you wanted me to ensure that he says where the question was coming from. All right, I'm going to take Chief. After Chief, I'll take Engineer. These are big titles. Oh, no, I'm going to start first from Millie Shield. Millie Shield have been here the longest, actually. After which I'll come to Chief, then Engineer.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Val. It's nice to be here, and thank you, Emir Saddam. Thank you, every obedient on this platform for today.
Milishi, your volume is kind of low.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Can you hear me very well now?
Okay, just go ahead.
All right. Now, my question is, would you be available for criticism on Twitter, because you are campaigning on Twitter right now? If we criticize you despite we are obedient with our loud mouth, would you respond? Would you take time and respond to criticism? That is number one question. Number two question is, what are your plans for Anambra people to get the least person in Anambra, that is the least person to be enlisted on a universal health insurance? Not all this health insurance they are doing in other states that they will be asking for 12,000, 50,000 for family, this and that. The least person in Anambra State, what are your plans to get that person covered for his or her health care? And are you planning to re-equip Anambra State hospitals? Because aside from having health insurance, we want to talk about what facility is available in those healthcare facilities. What equipments are available? Can an Anambrina that need dialysis get dialysis done? Somebody that needs CT scan, can it get it done on time? Somebody that needs specialist attention, how are they going to get it? Then the last question is about education. I pray that you win the election. I'm going to be on your neck for sure, because I will be expecting by end of your first year, foundation must have been laid to make sure that even a primary six graduate in Anambra State can do one or two things on computer, not to not talk of high school graduates. So we are expecting more record breaking from Anambra educational system by ending of first year, by making sure that primary school students.
Milishi, can you hand up 30 seconds?
Yeah, the last question just keep my mind. Thank you so much, Mr. Valentine.
All right, thank you very much. All right, let me quickly take Engineer. Chief Nwanchi Nemelu. Are you there? Okay, I don't think Chief Nwanchi Nemelu is there. All right, I'll quickly take Engineer Namdi, after which I'll take Sweet Angel. So can probably round off with that. Engineer Namdi, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, the host, and from whatever you're spacing from here. Good evening, Valentine Ozigbo. Kedu ka ị mere? Abụ m onye Anambra, yeah, abụ m ndị Anambra, and I'm from Nnewi to be precise. So my question goes to you, because I don't want to waste much of our time. First is Anambra is a big how do I put it now? Mostly election in Anambra are mostly won by all these big names queuing up again behind one candidate and trying to make the candidate win in the first place. You understand? And the thing is that they always end up putting him on high pedestal, and by giving him what he's going to achieve for them, what he's going to do for them if they support him. You understand? So can you hear me?
Go ahead.
So it's become a problem. It was one of the jinx P2B broke when he was elected governor. You understand? And Soludo is taking us back to that era of this godfatherism. You understand? Running to these people because he knows with them he can do whatever he likes and they are going to back him up. You understand? So how are you going to manage to make sure that these people, you can get their backing without promising them anything? Because definitely most of them are good men anyway, but before you get their backing, something must go. You understand? So it's a big problem. And being that APGA as a party, I used to be a strong member of APGA before I left the country anyway. You understand? So I know how to operate. They've had a big structure in Anambra State that before you know it, they can rewrite election results if you don't follow the distance. So are you planning to secure the votes? You understand? Because it's the most important thing. People can come out and vote, but at the end of the day, by 12 o'clock in the night, when they start writing those results and all those stuff, you understand? How are you planning to do those stuff? Because it's very, very important. We don't want to waste our time, just like the last election. You understand? I know how much we spent on traveling, coming back to vote, and going home, knowing that we won the election and coming back, and a story changed and everybody kept quiet about it. So I want to make sure that, please, you understand, try to make sure that how do you plan to actually secure our votes? It's very, very important. I want to know. If not, we are going to be wasting our time coming out to vote again. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Chief. Engineer, sorry. Okay, I think Chief is back, but let me quickly take Sweet
I'm here.
Angel.
I'm here. I don't know if you want me to ask my question. I'm here. Sorry, my network was
Okay,
messing
just
up.
take 1 minute to ask your question, then I'll take Sweet Angel's question.
Okay, Mr. Valentine, good evening from here. I know it's already past midnight. I have a couple of questions, but first of all, I would like to say that I think I've written you both on Instagram and even here on Twitter to join us on Igbo Business Space because the questions I have here are more or less related to doing business in Anambra State as a business person, someone that has business in Anambra as well. But I mean, I haven't got a response from you. I understand busy schedule and all of that. I'm putting it out here so that in case if you want to consider that, because I know a lot of people want to ask you business questions. First of all, it appears to be very tedious and difficult to do business, especially for people that want to invest in Anambra State. It's an open secret that a lot of businesses are moving out of Anambra State. Of course, all thanks to insecurity, but then we have issues of this taxation that's going on, issues of Ndiaburu.
that is littered every corner of Anambra major cities like Onitsha. It's very hard for you to bring in your goods without facing Ndiaburu, multiple taxation. They will even more or less destroy your goods, and all of that. So, what is in the pipeline to clean up this, continuous rascality that is, going on in Anambra State? That is the first question. The second one is for someone also living in diaspora. Can you tell us what you have in mind? Because obviously your manifestos and all of that are not in place yet. But as you're thinking about that, can you give us, an insight of what you have in mind for people, Anambra State indigents that are living abroad, that have interest of coming back home? It's no longer hidden that a lot of Ndi Anambra that live abroad want to come back home, especially people that have lived there for years. They are just tired, they just want to come back home. But then the situation at home is not encouraging. So even those ones that want to move back to Nigeria are not moving back to Anambra. Some of them end up in like Delta, some end up in Lagos, in Abuja, all of those things. But because we don't really have what they are looking for, those social services, having a cleaned up environment, a sanity, decency, in the state that will encourage, someone that spent all their life, working abroad, and they want to have a kind of a similar experience or a similar soft landing experience, in Anambra State. And then the last one, I'm just trying to, I have a lot, but I'm just trying to round it up so that you can answer
Chief,
at
do
once.
you mind keeping some for some other day?
Okay, all right, yeah, okay, no problem, my people. So,
Yeah, these are where
Mr.
I'll my
Valentine,
questions. So
yeah, so if you can, touch this rascality of Ndiaburu, multiple taxation and the way they are going about it, instead of having a centralized taxing system and not having all these people littered all over on it and everywhere, kind
yeah.
of constituting nuisance. And then secondly, for Ndi Anambra living in diaspora that intends to invest in Anambra State or intend to move back, but they are being discouraged by what is going on in Anambra State.
Okay,
So let me
okay.
just keep it there. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you got that. Let's just take the last question. I just learned something now. If you want to get an Igbo word, just add undi to it. If you want to say baby, just add undi baby. Sweet angel, undi sweet angel, please go ahead.
That is not true. That's not the baby. Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening, 1 million Nigerians. Good evening to you, Mr. Ozigbo. I am from Anambra State, and I live abroad. I love to come back to Anambra State. Anambra State is my home, is my heart, And if we who live abroad, we have these places we go for tourism. We have these places we go to relax once in a while, take our family, our children, our parents, whoever, whatnot, not to go about. If you can see, Anambra State has certain locations, like we have natural streams, we have natural things. What are your plans for tourism? What are your plans to bring in other things than business at Anambra State? What are you going to do about that? And as Chief said, some of us want to come back home. We want to come back home. We want to invest in Anambra State. We don't want to get stuck in Lagos or Delta State. There's nothing wrong in those places, but actually, so please, what are your intentions? What plans do you have to foresee these things so that Anambra State will keep progressing? Because I'm progressive. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank God your progressive is not the one in APC. Mr. Val, please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much. Quite loads of questions. We'll just do short responses to them since I've been guided. About opposition view, somebody said, will you be willing to be criticized? Of course, we learn from criticisms. Some of us have even learned to take the destructive ones. How much more? But I would encourage you to be more constructive than the destructive one, because usually what people do, they leave issues and they embark on personal attack, and it doesn't help anybody. What helps is like what I'm doing to Soludo now, constructive criticisms. I deal on issues, not innuendos, not gossips, not what is on ground. What are you doing in this area? why can't you not listen and do it this way? So I will be more than happy to welcome people with ideas, alternatives to whatever it is that I'll be doing. And about the health insurance, it is a project that I'm excited about. Incidentally, the person who actually drove it is a good friend of mine. So I know the thinking that went into the health insurance in Anambra, and started from Peter B's time. Then Obiano actually put a proper system around it. And Soludo is continuing that. And I even, I've had to give, I've offered this to a number of people in Nobi, in Ames Akuachina. So talking about what will I do to the least people, we're already doing that at a personal level. And obviously we'll continue, we'll do more at a government level. And effort to equip the hospital, those are given, including making sure we cite proper healthcare institutions, at least 3 in each of the 3 senatorial districts in Anambra State. On education, yes, emphasis will be on early child knowledge on computing, on ICT, so we can give them the necessary skill and give them, obviously they already have the right DNA to be able to profile solutions to world problem and Anambra problem. On godfatherism, I abhor that. And what this means is when you have people who are misguided, yes, they bring money and they demand that you do things that are ulterior. Now, what you will know about me is I don't make empty promises. What my conscience does not accept, what I feel is not good before God, and what I think is not good before the Anambra, I will not promise you. I can listen to you as a big man, provided your advice is about the well-being of the Anambra, then come on board. So if Peter B provides some guidance on how he thinks I can govern Anambra, I can listen to that. That's not godfatherism, because I know he will not tell me what to do to put some money in his pocket. Then that's what I would not listen to. That's not even for someone like Peter B. But there are people, I know why you're saying this, who do things for ulterior motive, and not just what I call, it's not enlightened self-interest. It's just something that can benefit them to the detriment of other people. That you will not get from me. And so it will be in the same line with what Peter B did in Anambra State. About securing our votes, my answer there is simple. Okay, you see rat, it doesn't eat any food that belongs to somebody who is wide awake. So we know what to do, and I won't say what we're going to do on this platform. And my friend who said he has messaged me on Instagram, I haven't checked my Instagram. I don't know what messages are there. Not all the time that I check, but since we're here, if you have Saddam's number, he can give you my WhatsApp right away, so we can message directly, so I can respond faster. What you raised about Togri and double ties is so important. In fact, I visited one of those victims, the one they call Mbolimba, and you need to see how inhuman are people who, unfortunately, Soludo on his inaugural address actually said he was going to end Togri. We didn't know he was going to just change their uniform and empower them more, unleash them onto the masses. It's so unfortunate. And what I am promising the Anambra is proper law and order. And we are going to leverage technology in pursuing things about IGR, and not this very, very shambolic approach that we're embarking upon. For the diaspora, I am happy to have followed Peter B all over. So I know what diaspora is asking about. The starting point is getting our home functional. These major cities functional, have a decent power supply, so that at least they can switch on like that is on and they're not sweating. Have proper road. make sure it's safe and secure, provide the right technology backbone, and this is the enabling environment. You can go further into making sure that the governance system, the civil service, all of these things work so that people effort wasted. Right now, the biggest challenge we face is the issue of rule of law. Where you can't even go into any contract, you can't take any risk because a lot of things it's not justifiable. You find that here you can buy judgment, and in such a society, no diaspora want to come in here to do any business. You want where if I go into any contract, if I give you an order and I say I'll pay you in 30 days, I will pay you in 30 days. If I fail to pay and pay for the fact, there will be consequence, and you can sue and be sued. So if you are not to that as competitive as you're promising to be. So these are the things I would do. I will help to enthrone. And I'm also praying to God that when I am the governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi will also be the president of Nigeria, such that some of these things are things that I may not be able to solve on my own as Anambra governor because I'm subnational. I'm not a sovereign body. There's some that will have to happen at the center. If, for instance, the FX system is still messy the way it is now and uncertain, volatile, businesses must find it difficult. What will I do in that regard? Little or nothing. But if we have somebody at the top plugging those leakages, creating the confidence and making sure it's predictable, it will help it to go a longer way in solving some of the problems locally. And of course, for tourism, that has been my industry. I used to be considered as the biggest promoter of domestic tourism in Nigeria because I played at the top of it. If you work in the hospitality industry, that's part of the value chain. So we know what we need to do, but we have to keep Anambra safe first. Even if I go to Bunike Reserve and touch it up and all that, and somebody on his way gets kidnapped, it makes nonsense and mockery of all that. Let's keep Anambra safe and secure and clean. Let's law and order, get the roads working, get power working, and show leadership and make sure Anambra people are happy. Then those.
Your screen, sir.
Hello. So basically, in summary, if we tidy those basics from insecurity to roads to, making sure that the rule of law is in place, and also solve the power challenge locally here, especially in the urban areas where we begin to solve quicker. Because again, like I keep saying, if you don't cluster some solutions, it will take you longer time. But if you begin to solve them in phases, it will eventually touch every part of Anambra. And when we do all this, the diasporans will find Anambra home. And so that it won't be a shock. They come from urban, somewhere that's civil where things work, to a very dysfunctional system. But to achieve entirety of this, let's get a door working. Then let's put Anambra in the bank. And in 2027, let's make sure Nigeria does it right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. I need to relieve you of this stress of having to touch your full screen continuously to keep it active. Thank you very much for joining us today. Justice, I already asked your question from the DM. You cannot
please.
manufacture another question. Sorry.
Please. Let me
You
ask
cannot manufacture another question. I already asked your question from the DM.
No, I'm begging you.
To do it.
I need to ask just one question, and it's very important, please.
Okay, ask your question.
Yes, thank you very much, my dear good friend, Mr. Valentine. Anambra has an international airport that, if I am to be fact-checked, has a coordinate of 2406, fully built with Anambra State taxpayers' funds, saved by Peter Obi. But it breaks my heart that up till now, that airport is not fully used. That airport is the second biggest airport in Nigeria after MMA Lagos. I also need to be fact-checked and verified on this. But subsequent governments have now come and gone, and it does appear that the Southeast, the entire Southeast, it looks like they are being taken away from living or dropping into the international community from the Southeast. So if you become governor, sir, which I am hoping that with the instrumentality of the Labour Party, you will, are you making us a promise that Anambra State International Airport, fully built and functional as a state powered project, will gain that international status so that we can have Delta, Lufthansa, and all these international flights landing in the Southeast? That's all I have, sir. Thank you very much. God bless you.
All right, Mr. Val, do you want to just quickly answer that before? You're muted in case if you're speaking, just to be sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you, Justice. I hear you. Anambra Ports, actually, I'm not impressed by the quality. Yes, it has one of the longest runways, and that's actually what you can say. When you use that one, second biggest, no, I don't know where you're getting this from.
Yeah, based on runway, sir. Thank you.
Based on runway, okay.
Yeah.
Now, the fact is that it's been built. We can improve on it. I am not impressed that Soludo would abandon this. And somebody was even saying he's contemplating doing another airport. That would be so, I don't know. I don't want to use the word irresponsible. We have one. It's enough for now. It will solve our problem. We don't need another airport. And we can build on this, develop the ecosystem around it, increase the commercial activities around there, and in fact, improve export. I'm not necessarily hoping that within my tenure, Lufthansa or British Airways will land there. However, we can have Epis is a regional hub. Epis is now going to London. If they can make Anambra Port their hub, it will more than solve my problem. What we need is ability to be able to take off, go abroad, and come back. So, and guess what? This is an airline. These are airlines, Epis and United Nigeria Airlines, owned by Anambra people. So I don't see why we can't sit down with them, understand what they're looking for, so that they find home in that place. We work together, put more money, take it to level up, and then expand the ecosystem. So yes, I would like to leverage that airport because it's already been built, and I think it can help us bring more prosperity around there. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Val. Thank you very much. You've actually answered a lot of questions with so much huge amount of details and precision. So thank you very much for joining us. I mean, we're about to round up. Of course, I don't know if you have like any final greetings. Maybe Saddam, I don't know also if you want to say anything for Mr. Vallis.
Yeah, Mr. Val, thank you very much. Women and Jam, thank you very much, my brother. Guys, thank you very much. I think we'll have to exit Mr. Val now. He has stayed. He has given us at least 2 hours, 30 minutes. That's enough time. But I think the conversation does not end here. He will tell us when he can make himself available again for us. But I think he has spoken well, and probably, sir, if you can just, give us a parting word or say something you have tried for today. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. You guys have tried more. It's always fun talking to the real owners of Nigeria, the real, people who are passionate, who are committed, and who are making the right sacrifice for a better country. And it will be an honor to work with you guys and achieve this success, which will signpost the bigger success ahead. So This journey is just beginning. I'm happy to be here whenever you need me. If you want me to be here every week, every month, every 3 months, count it. It's an opportunity I am more than happy to leverage. So, Saddam, the ball is in your court. Call me when you need me and you'll find me. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much. I think we might make it probably a monthly, maybe once every month. I think that will be good for you. You build up your momentum from there. But you can always, this is your house. You can always come around anytime you feel like jumping in. Please do not stay so far so that we can always, stay in contact with you. Thank you so much, sir. It's been an amazing space with you. Wonderful insights. The feedbacks I'm getting so far from my DMs have been amazing. So I think you can take your exit right now while the house continues the deliberation. This one, what I'm about to say now, you should not be hearing it, except you have a Bonner Boy account. If you have a Bonner Boy account, can use a Bonner Boy account and coming. But right now, I have to pursue you from the space. Thank you so much, sir, and wish you best of luck in your forthcoming engagements. And also, please, sir, do not stop your conversation. Your conversation should not stop on the violence space. Also, I think you should go to chief space. Also, there should be so many spaces. I think you should create yourself available for different demographics. That you should also get into those rooms and discuss, because as far and wide as where your voices can go to is where you should push right now, because we need you to cover up everywhere. I think there should even be spaces that are organized by Anambarians just for you to go there and dialogue with your people. So thank you so much. That's just my feedback from here. We'll do more discussion in the back channel. And one more time, I say you can take your exit, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye. Good night, everyone.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for joining us today on Violence Space. But before we move further, let me quickly apologize to, because I mean, I know it's not possible, but I wanted to please the largest number of people as much as I could. So, I mean, for those that probably sent me DM and we still couldn't bring it up, DM is still, I left it on open so that I will not forget it. So, whenever Mr. Val, I mean, this is not a conversation that can end today. There's still a lot of time, so you always get the time to ask your question. But for now, just to wrap up, I think we'll wrap up in probably the next less than actually. Somebody say, if you like, apologize. It's always very difficult, when you have to get everybody. All right, quickly, I'll just okay, for people that are now up here, Sweet Angel only came for Anna and Brian. By their question, you shall know them. Sweet Angel normally will not. I knew there was anybody that will ask questions concerning enjoyment and tourism, it will be Sweet Angel. By their question, you shall know them. All right, for those of us that wanted to speak on the initial topic, feel free to request Mike. We'll just take as much people. Then also, if you want to react to some of the things Mr. Val said as well, that's allowed. Justice, certainly not you. You'll be like, person will not talk for this space 3 times today. So it's not, certainly not you. I'll go to Health as well if she's close to her phone. But Health as well, are you there? Okay, I don't think Health as well is close. Okay, Justice, say what you want to say.
All right, thank you very much for once again giving me the second opportunity to speak. It's a brilliant one from Anambra State has always been a state that is brilliant with a lot of brilliant minds. No wonder they are number one in education. But going back to the original topic, you see, I was just messaging Saddam at the DM. I don't know whether he has read my DM that PO in the north right now, the interventions and the social interventions and the borehole interventions and cash and all what have you that he's doing in the north now should not be left for PA alone. Perhaps a way to demonstrate this one Nigeria is also by the obedient family, probably brainstorming and identifying critical areas, not only just in the north, but in the middle belt, in the west, and in the south. Let's even forget about the southeast, because the southeast, from where me and a lot of other well-meaning Nigerians come from, seem to be better. They seem to be okay. Yet, that seems to be the region that is the worst off politically marginalized. So I was of the opinion that rather than just allow PO spend his money alone, which we know, whether we help him or not, he already has his plans mapped out. Perhaps we should also set up a PO violence space interventions fund. And please, this is my own opinion. I'm not imposing it on anyone. We can set up a PO violence space intervention, just like we did during the campaigns. These children of the evil forest harvested from there or from the marine world think that we are joking when it comes to intervening for coming as brothers to most of these people who are in the north, who are critically handicapped by social amenities as drinking water and what have you. So yes, I am suggesting that we set up such a funding. Maybe we can help build more boreholes in the north, in the middle belt, in the west, in the south, where we have these issues of water. And then, of course, the criminal drug baron has failed before he started. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Justice. Thank you very much for that submission. I mean, I think we made not just violence space actually. I think earlier we had actually during my submission had said it that hopefully with time, this entire engagement is something that Obedience can pick up and extend all over the country. Consider it your own way of partnering with Peter Obi. Just say it like that. All right, quickly, I'll go straight to Chief. Chief, you asked a question, so let me get your reaction before I go to Sweet Angel as well.
Okay. Thank you so much for the opportunity once again. Before I make a comment, I just want to throw something here. I like the way some people on the timeline are undermining and underrating Valentine Ozigbo. Let me just take us back for people that didn't know Peter Obi. When Peter Obi came at first in Anambra State, because of the way he speaks, they were calling him Adobe, like he was talking like a woman. They were underrating him, his capacity to do things, to change things. Let me tell you what happened when he started dealing with the criminals, with the kidnappers, with all those, people that are messing up the state. They started calling him Okute. Okute means rock, that was actually what happened. So I like when people are being underrated. It's good for you to be underrated than to be overrated, because when you're overrated, now you'll be struggling, to make a mark to prove a point, right? But when you're underrated, when you start acting, people will know that working or there. You understand? So I appreciate those people that underrate Valentine Ozigbo, because when you don't know somebody, you are bound to underrate them. So coming back to the conversation we are having, I don't know Valentine in person, but then I've gone through, read stuff about him and the things he did in Transcorp and all of that when he was there. Those things are commendable, because of course you have to see something someone has done for you to say that this person is able and capable to take over higher responsibility, like governing a state and all of that. For people that don't know, Valentine Ozigbo is investing heavily in ICT in Anambra State. You can just go and Google this thing. It's just all over the media. It's not really something, someone would just come here and just be talking about. He is well invested in the things of Anambra State and helping a lot of Anambra people. He's not really blowing his trumpets very well. I can tell you that. He's not. I think he's just too calm. But do not undermine him. Do not underrate Valentine. We don't need people that are behaving like touts. We don't need people that are behaving like they know it all, like the person we have there now, occupying Aguaka as our governor, that doesn't listen to anybody. If you don't have first class, and we are not joking when we say these things, if you don't have first class, you cannot give Soludo any advice. You cannot correct him. Who are you to correct a governor? Most of the commissioners, they don't even have 2-1 or 2-2. So how dare you correct someone that is a professor? So we have an autocratic governor that is doing absolutely. In fact, let me compare Soludo to Rochas. They are the same in terms of infrastructure and everything. The only thing left now is for him to start a Umado. You need to start.
Oh my God, Chief, Chief, please just wrap up. You just took that word out of my heart. You just took it out of my heart. I think I just want to talk, say Rochas.
Yes.
You just talk me, I just laugh.
Yeah. So I'm just like they are the same. Doing Robbie, look at the road they were his followers were sharing on social media 2 days ago. 2 days ago, Kama came in form of rainfall and washed it off yesterday. I'm not joking. I am not lying. It is all over the media. This is what we are saying. These people do not understand what it takes to govern a place like Anambra State. And it's not an issue of pride or trying or ego or whatever. Anambra State is difficult. Ask anybody, because you have a lot of strong men independently and as a group that can actually support anybody. So it becomes imperative that you must know what you are doing. Currently, if we are against Soludo, the road, state road that is in your town will not be done. I am telling you, go and check this things. He will not do it because you don't support him. Because the House of Assembly members are not from APGA. He will not do those roads. Why has he not done anything in Nnewi? Nnewi is the Japan of Africa. Nnewi, Anambra State. Go there, dilapidated roads, no infrastructure, abandoned. And then people are here saying that Valentine Ozigbo is not a heavyweight, he's a lightweight. It's game on. We'll see what happens. That's all I want to say. We will see what happens. Game on.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief.
Yeah,
let me just add this. Let me just add this story coming from my brother's Anambra person's tweet in the comments section. He said someone who refused to meet an investor who was brought to the state. He drove to the airport and left to the UK. The investor is setting up in another state. Soludo is not a leader. Let me just. I just want. If you've been on this violence case for long, you would have heard this story I told about Rochas in Imo State. I met a man in Imo State. The man he's Imo Scottish. He has been in Scotland for over 30 years. So he has friends that construct rails, that bring in trains, private investors. So the man's plan was to come in and throw a monorail in Imo State. Imo State monorail. Government will not pay 1 kobo. He has already negotiated with his friends just to bring them in, negotiate with the government, do concession and everything. The glory will even go to this junkie. And he came in, and that was how they were turning him. He was so frustrated. And he was like, I want to help freely. By now, Imo State would have, this I'm saying this is like 7 years ago. Imo State would have had monorail since. People that are willing to do this thing, not even Chinese, from the Scottish. And all of a sudden, this man stayed and he was frustrated. He carried his money. He carried his money and opened casino. He opened casino, and every night, the governor's brother comes to that casino and spends nothing less than ₦1 million. I was in this casino. We were talking.
Saddam, let me tell you this in Igbo for people that understand. It is cheaper to Ibunwa than to do a project. So, oh, you didn't hear Igbo? Okay, make I just shut up.
It is crazy. I know. I tell this guy was like, I say what? He showed me the government I was there, chopping government money. Over ₦1 million was spent that night. I think every night he comes to the casino, he blows over ₦1 million. So you see this kind of, and you cannot tell them anything. They don't understand governance, and you see their hallelujah boys energizing them and hailing them. It is just so unfortunate. I just pray that people open their eyes and see that something. It must not come by harsh talking or by degrees. Because anybody can go and read book. After all, Tinubu self give us fake certificates. So anybody can claim that one. It is to use sense. Well, Nigeria, back to you.
Yes, Adam. From the look of things, I feel threatened. It's like you guys are trying to compete with us in Edo State on this bad road issue, but I can tell you, you can't win it. You can't.
No, can't compare. I beg. I don't, please. I don't even go there. I don't headquarters.
Point of collection, Obaseki is Edo. So is the headquarter of.
I never reach where they put a signboard. Remember the put signboard for Anambra say, please don't vex. This road is this road is a
But
federal
if you like say now, but I dey look at if you like say now, Obaseki be Soludo mentor for this matter. Anyway, thank you very much. All right, quickly, let's just take. I'll take Sweet Angel Chukudi, then we'll take Mommy B.
All right, thank you for the opportunity to speak again. To my fellow Nigerians, I'll take on his last word about the security. We winning one state at a time. I want to ask my fellow Nigerians, those of us back home, please, if you take yourself serious, like your neighborhood, your community, if you take it serious, you see something, say something. If you have any family member, we cannot all be good people. We have bad people amongst us. We have bad people in our families, in our homes. Please say something. The era of you keeping quiet, because when you keep hiding the evil committed in your community by your loved ones, be it your father, your mother, your sister, your brother, or uncle, or friends, the evil never goes away. Our society will never be good. So, in that note, please, we have an election to win in Edo State. My Edo brothers and sisters, our uncles in Edo State, please, let's take Edo serious. Let's come out, let's campaign, let's talk. Go back to the grassroots. Let's talk to Mama and Papa picking, strategy. Let's go back. Let's go back to everybody. Let's go back to the drawing board, and how we did it. We did well. Let's go back to it. Let's not undermine the children of the evil forest, because all they will do is they're planning to rewrite something. They only know to read, but we are going to go back to the grassroots. And with that note, I know my friend Rebecca Best is here. A shout out to you. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
That's what they do for you. So this thing, you just call it, hey, as soon as they give shout out. So Rebecca Best will come and give shout out. All right, thank you very much, Utinje. All right, quickly, I'll take Chukudi, after which we'll take Mombi.
Thank you very much, Saddam, and women in Nigeria. Good morning from the beautiful city of Calabar. I think this is the very first time I'll be speaking on violence space. The other day, before the election, when I was supposed to speak, I didn't hear it on time and I was not able to speak. It's very good. I wanted to talk to my incoming governor, but I did not get the opportunity to speak with him. We'll speak another day because he's the next governor of Anambra State. There's nothing, we are not going to negotiate it, and we are not going to discuss it. We are not going to do any other thing. He's our next governor. It doesn't matter what any other person thinks or does. He will get our tickets and he'll be the governor. But what I really wanted to say, because I listened to him extensively on Arise before he came to Violence Peace. And there's a lot of things people would not even know. The guy is also a first class graduate, but why is the man, the Solu tax, I mean, what they call him, why is he coming in to make it public that is a first class, whatever? That is the pride and the arrogance we see in Anambra State. And it's similar to Edo State. When you talk about we competing with bad roads, it's really very bad because I live in Edo State and I'm from Anambra State. I can relate to the two issues. It's really very terrible when it comes to bad road. I cannot even rate who is better. I was
They should
talking
give
with
you
my brother.
ambassador of bad road. How can you
I don't really,
places?
I cannot really say because during the era of Peter Obi, Anambra State had the best road network in the entire southern Nigeria. But when you go to what is happening now, this maximum idiot is destroying everything. Now, my own, I'm from Nnewi South. Our own senatorial, this arrogant fool publicly told us that if you are not voting in for someone from that is, we are not voting Apuga for House of Assembly, that what is the person going to do? And he said it in Igbo. Something as demeaning as that. Until today, the honorable member representing, we did not vote Apuga. The honorable member representing told him about a road that Peter Obi started, which Obiano abandoned. All the drainages was already done. Till today, nothing has been going on there. Nnewi, which is a commercial city, because the senator coming from there and every other thing did not come from the area. That is also why he abandoned it. And I remember making a post on Facebook saying that if Val had picked the senatorial ticket, we would have 3/3 because I was begging him to pick senatorial ticket. But I really wanted to hear from him today on that, why they left, why they did it like that, and they did not actually give us proper candidates for senatorial district in our district, because the idiot that is there has now moved to the COM party, and he's just there, that debt redeem guy, and he's trying to those people are not the people we want in office. But as it is, we thank God that he was here. We thank God that he's letting his message known, so that those other people also, the ones who are there, who are waiting to collect the data boys, because they always mobilize them towards the election, when they will start coming out and start making noise that they don't know him or this and that, they always have excuses. Yeah, I'm finishing now. They always have excuses why they will not support a candidate that will want to win an election. Thank God that he has started speaking to us now, and he gave them time. He gave Soludo 2 years. That is what he said on channels on Arise this evening. He gave him 2 years to assess him, because after saying he's not assessing the government, not saying anything, and he's doing it now, so that when it's time, they will not still come up and tell us he's obedient, he's not this. As it is, we will take Edo State and we'll consolidate it to Anambra State. Thank you very
All
much,
right.
sir. Dan.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much,
Well,
Chukudima. Yeah, thank you very much, bro. All right, quickly. Mommy, just let me quickly take Rita. So I know she has been going back and forth. Rita, please go ahead.
Thank you,
Let's try
Omi.
to make it short. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, greetings, everyone. Network, no let me talk. In fact, anyway, thank you, everyone listening on YouTube, Facebook, radio station, wherever you're listening from. Thank you very much. Mambik, greetings to you. I'm Sadam, well meaning, Jimmy, and Off. Lady Pairs, everyone. Omega X, my darling. Happy birthday to you. Sarah and everybody. I greet all of you specially. Okay, I want to talk about PO Nation Tour. To some persons, PO is campaigning. And to some of us, which I proudly belong, he is just doing what he knows how to do best. PO is just living his life. It's just that some of you are seeing him right now because he has he's having more, as in he's now more popular. So wherever he enters, the touch lights are beamed on him, so you see him. But to be very honest, this is the life this man have been living from the word go. Okay, before I started supporting him, I did a lot of kind of research about him. Okay, so I remember during this campaign period, I was on Chigoze's space, and one military personnel was on that space, and he requested the mic and came up. What he said is something I will not forget in a hurry. I don't know if Chigoze is on this space. That space was recorded. The guy said that as a military personnel, they were in a place somewhere in Benue State, and PO as a governor was just passing, and he saw them in an uncompleted building or a primary school or so. And he went to greet them. So while he was still there, they served them food. According to the guy, the food they gave them was so tasteless and watery. He said PO took a spoon and ate that food with them. And at the end of the day, he gave them 5 million naira before he left. That was on Chigoze's space. And this man, P.O., never knew he was going to run for president. For those of you that knew how he ran for the last election, you know the story of how someone called him out and said, if you don't do this, I'm going to sue you. And his only response was like, I wish I knew you. You understand? So that apart, there was still that time when it was still a governor. Is it Kuwait or something? They had an earthquake. Baba go school, go carry in son, carry and go that country, go help them. You get? And there was a video by on posted during the campaign season 2 titled Obi exposed or something. The guy just quick because then they were looking for something to nail him, because he said, if you find any dirt on me, I'm not going to run. He posted the thing. Unknown to him, it was only selling the man. So before he knew what he did, that in that video, some of our northern brothers in Anambra was actually praising PO, saying that anytime they are having Ramadan, people will load food in trailers or lorries to come and give them. That he does that every time, and also come to eat with them. And we saw the video, we saw pictures. So long story short, going to the north to break fast with these people, it's not just something he started today. In the movie world, they talk about people behind the scene. So he's been doing this behind the scene, but because he's not popular, you don't know. But for those that knows, they know. So he's just living his life as the normal
Yeah.
person and the leader that he is. So
Yeah.
big up to my president. Thank you for all you do. Omo, this one's not money. May God continue to replenish you. PO. I
Amen.
call it to be for those of you that knows. Thank you very much. I
All
yield
right.
the mic. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
I think that someone needed to point that out. This is PO living his life really. All right, Mommy B, please go ahead.
Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah, I'm here. No, I wanted to just react to uh Val speaking. I mean, I kind of knew he had a decent CV. I just didn't know how decent it was. But if that aside, you know, if somebody like Peter Obi is meant, I mean, what else do you need? Yeah, but my own is to come and put one is out there, because when I no get sense, truly and truly, a lot of you, when he then decides to when he formally steps into the ring, I beg, I don't want here, oh, he's lightweight, is this, is that. If you cannot help to promote, to campaign for him, I beg, keep your opinion to yourself. We don't want here. Because it's like, I saw how this man was literally going around with PO. There's no doubt as to whether or not he's obedient, right? That is, you can't question it, and almost now, I mean, we're adding states now. We have to win Edo and we have to win Anambra for PO's sake, right? And I'm sure that Anambra will be in good hands with this man. He has that track record. He's been an executive. When you have a CEO, you know that, when it comes to managing both people and resources, it's all there. And, hearing him speak, I've heard him speak loads of times. Hearing him speak, you could see that he's not one who is riding on coattails, which is what a lot of those that got into elective office did. So he's not riding on Peter Obi's coattail. He very much imbibes a lot of the things that we see in Peter Obi that makes us, have that level of trust that we all have. But no, this is a good outing, and hopefully we will see him again and again and again and again and again before that his election cycle comes. That's all I needed to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mommy B. Which one be lightweight? I mean, now they found Francis Ngannou for Anambra. So when I when I go vote after, I go say his name is Ngannou. Oh, more obedience of that shot. Anyway, until you came up, like, I know it's pretty late. Maybe I'll just give you like 2 minutes to quickly chip in something so we could round up. Mr. Michael, this your dip is very.
My people,
Go ahead, sir.
my people are hello now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. This your people greet you like Richard, so I beg you.
Yeah, my people, let us tell you now. Yeah, English, I shall be speaking English very well, but today I'm speaking preaching. Maybe they enter everybody head. Like my papa used to tell me, say, if you want to do something, you go bend down, pick and do one. You see this issue of Anambra State and Edo State, we happen to have the best candidates on the table. But we need to look forward. We need to look forward and we need to look backward at the same time. Backwards is that we need to look at what happened during the last election, where every Tom, Dick, and Harry rode on the obedience movement and got into power. And where are they now? They're a bunch of onlookers as things are happening. We need to start. We need to start retooling that kit. Now we have Olumide Akpata, seasoned lawyer, Templars, one of the best law firms in Nigeria, not just Lagos, in Nigeria. And we'll have Valentine Ozigbo. I've known Uncle Val since we used to call him Uncle Val because my Uncle Vin used to work with Val when they were in early days of banking in Nigeria. And trust me, I can't start telling you people what Val is. I worked with him in Diamond Bank. I knew him in Bank PHP. I knew when he moved to UBA. I knew when he moved to Transcorp. I know you guys are still looking at paper. Sit down with him one on one and ask him a question at 2 a.m. in the morning and hear the answer. What are we talking about? We have the best candidates on the table. But our major issue, which I'm actually going to highlight today, is that we don't know what the Labour Party is turning into. Yes, let us, while we're looking at the candidates we
Yeah,
have,
Michael. I don't want. Okay, I just wanted
hold
to
on, hold on,
give you
hold on,
like
hold on, hold on,
2 minutes
hold on,
submission.
2 minutes. So while we are looking forward, we need to also look backwards. What is our house turning into? Is it turning into a gorilla house? Will they let us present the proper candidates going forward? And if that is not going to happen, what is our plan going forward? Those are the questions. Those are the contingency planning that we need to start
Yeah.
putting on the table. That's all. My people, I yield the mic.
All right. Thank you very much, Michael. And you know that topic that it was shake table, but I mean it's something that certainly we need to talk about, but of course not tonight. But very, very, very crucial point. Thank you very much for bringing that up, and thanks to everybody that have spoken today on the space. I think this kind of like a fair place. This is like 2 hours after, but of course it was worth it. Thanks to everybody those of you that requested the mic, especially those that requested the mic, especially to ask Mr. Val questions. We'll keep getting him, and I hope it takes Saddam's advice to even get on, various kind of spaces, engage in conversations, even the smallest of spaces, quote unquote, to engage in conversations and have time to engage with people a lot. And I hope we'll do that. It's coming very early. So this for me, it doesn't get better than this. I really want to believe that Mr. Val's candidacy would be one that would really have a united, obedient front. Really, I want to believe that. Although, like Mommy B said, some people had the touch. So something you can't stop sometimes. But thanks everybody for coming. Apologies to those that couldn't speak. I'll hand over to Saddam now.
Thank you very much, my brother. Well meaning. Thank you, guys. Guys, thank you so much for that amazing space. I will just wrap up by saying, first of all, please, if you did not start the space with us, please go back and replay this space. I said so many things in my submission earlier on, and I wish everybody here listened to what I said earlier on. That's just my own point of view. I really think we have to go back to basics. We need to go back to understanding the role we play as obedient and as opposition. We are the opposition to this criminal system. And when you are in opposition, you don't attack yourselves. In opposition, you attack the system. You expose the rot in the system. You expose the criminality in the system. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have these bickerings. We shouldn't have our major focus, our spaces, our tweets. There should be no reason why every day you wake up, you're making 10 tweets a day and all the 10 is pro Cruz or pro. At least 3, 4, 5 should be exposing these criminals in government. They are people will be drinking champagne and smoking all the substance he can smoke because we have given him a 9-month free ride. And this is the worst time ever to be a Nigerian. And there is no voice out there. We are the opposition. Forget about the children of the born to be Kano generator. Those ones, they don't matter. They do not matter. We are the ones that are meant to be holding these people's feet to fire. So please let us not keep focus less on the mundane part and focus more on the most important thing, which is doing the jobs of opposition every single day. And also, please, I always say the worst battles you should have should be with the children of the roasted corn. Find you as fun in it. And if you must fight ourselves, please try and fight inside first. If you fight inside, you know work, then you can fight outside. It is important. Let's stop giving these children talking points. I say thank you very much, every single one of you. By God's grace, we'll be back here on if we have power, we'll come back on Thursday because we have a space with Peter on Friday. If we don't come back on Thursday, please no vex. So no vex. So if we don't come back on Thursday, but we will try to come back on Thursday. If we can come back on Thursday, good. If not, Friday we'll be having our space with His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi on the Parallel Facts. Hopefully, same time, same station. Thank you so much, every one of you. My brother Jimmy, thank you so much. Welcome in Nigeria. Sarah, you just came up here. You know who want to talk. See, if you end the come on space, you know what talk. No request mic, please. No come the short space. No come here to the look with your face for this place. This is a violent space. Correct. Thank you very much, Mami Bolale. Sweet angel of the Renaba Best Kingdom. Thank you very much. Guys, I could not speak. If you let me, you're raising your hand first. Say, you don't feel. Please, if you could not speak, no verse, so I beg, no verse. It's just that we don't finish space. Yeah, please, no vex, please. We'll be back on Thursday, God's willing. I see you, my big Steve. Thank you so much. The Violence Based Team, Cast and Cruise, streaming space on our Facebook channel. Thank you so much. YouTube channel, The Violence Radio Station. Thank you so much, guys. Our media partners in Gen Z TV. Thank you so much for also streaming these spaces.